welcome into the C3 Friday free-for-all. Wow, I thought that intro was a little bit longer. I must have played the wrong one. Cody Lashney out celebrating his mother's birthday. Happy birthday to Miss Lashney. And I'm in here in the host chair. Tony Dunn, the professor, the occasional co-host of this show. But tonight, the leader of Cody's little pack of wonder people. Welcome into the C3 Friday free-for-all. Let's start from top to bottom. Alex, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing all right, Tony. Happy Friday to everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying the holidays and, excited for Sunday.
Yeah. Well, actually, such an unknown this Sunday. Such an unknown. I got to put the link. I'm going to put the link in the chat, guys, if you guys want to join the Friday free-for-all. This is the show for fans where you guys get to control the conversation. You get to actually be the host of the show. I'm just the guy bringing people in and out and making sure that they got all their clothes on. Drew, how you doing up there up north?
Doing all right, Tony. Alex said happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope everybody had enough turkey and tryptophan.
Yeah, I'm still
ready
tired.
Ready for this Panthers game this Sunday, hopefully. We'll see what happens, but hey, at least we're not Nebraska and we don't have to deal with Matt Rhule anymore.
Yeah. Nebraska's, they got their own problems, right? I guess Matt Rhule is now going to be part of them. You see, Panther Pickle with his new microphone in the house. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Ready for some Panther football. I got so bored I found a clip online a while ago and was watching the highlight or the end or something of the Chargers and Panthers way back in 08.
Oh wow.
That was
how were we in?
Oh wait, yeah. Well, we had Jake and we had
the two running backs.
Yeah, that was Jonathan Stewart's rookie year.
Oh yeah, so that would be
Moose and Dante Rosario, and on defense we had Marshall, Lucas, and Gamble, and
wasn't it that game that Rosario caught the touchdown pass from Jake Delhomme at the end of the game?
Yeah. Nixon was on the team. I mean, it was just that wide receiver Nixon.
Yeah.
It
was a pretty cool season. I think if I remember correctly, that's also a playoff year where Steve Smith went bananas against Chicago, or was that? Yeah, I think that was Did we make it to the NFC Championship that year and lose to Seattle? Which was the year that we did that?
I don't remember now. I think that was the year. That was the year that, if I remember correctly, 08 was the year that we got spanked real hard by the Arizona.
Oh, that was a 5 interception game.
Yeah. I remember that season we were facing.
Yeah, you're right, because 03 would have been the Super Bowl. It would have been 05 is what I'm thinking. I think 05 where Steve Smith had 5 touchdowns against Chicago or something like that.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That's that season that Jonathan Stewart showed everybody he showed Ronte Barber was what a stiff arm was.
There. Right on. All right, so welcome in. I put the link in the chat. If there are any mods in the chat, maybe they can pin it. I'll have to open up the YouTube and pin it. This is the show that you get to lead the conversation, and the C3 Panthers Podcast is a podcast by fans for fans, so this is like the most fitting idea that Cody ever came up with. I'm going to have to do good about putting these comments up, because Cody's always rocking that, and I've gotten spoiled not doing it in the past. Let's open it up, guys. What's the first thing to talk about? Actually, before we get into the Panthers, you guys said you were bored, Pickle. How could you be bored? Thursday football, Thanksgiving football was incredible yesterday.
Yeah, it was the worst
Thanksgiving of football since the Panthers won.
I was over at my mama's and watching, and they had a game on, and bless everybody's heart, But Thanksgiving and the holidays are the one times that everybody gets around watching football, and these people ain't watched football in like some of them in like 5 years. What's it? What's that one player wearing different shoes? What's him? Collar jerseys are different, and you answer their questions, but bless your hearts, that's just how it is on Thanksgiving.
What was the best game yesterday?
I didn't get to sit down and watch all of them. I just watched basically highlights of them. So.
Detroit and Buffalo was actually really good.
Yeah, that one went down almost to the wire, didn't it?
Yeah. Put it like this: Josh Allen showed us why you need a franchise quarterback.
Yeah,
he took the team down with 23 seconds and got them in the field goal range.
So annoying.
To win the game.
So annoying. You're right. Is that? And you saw that last year in the playoffs. What ended the Buffalo was that same thing.
Yep.
Right, as Buffalo gets ahead at the end, or at least ties it up, you think, or whatever it is. And remember that overtime where they made, really, they're starting to consider changing the rules because it stinks to have such a great game ended so prematurely in a way.
Yeah.
But yesterday, if you think about this, every single game was freaking incredible, except for, even the best, one of my favorite games of watching Dallas really start to assert themselves. Not that I'm a Dallas fan, but I think that they are going to rise to the top in the NFC in a certain way because of their defense. They remind me
only till the playoffs start.
Think so? Okay.
Yeah, they always choke in the playoffs.
They're a real team right now.
Dallas choking in the playoffs.
But that game was even good, except for the Giants hung in there for a long time to the fourth quarter. But the other two games came down to the wire, to the absolute wire. And you're right, when I was watching it, I was watching at my sister's house. Pickle, my little nephew was cuddled up beside me. And he was just all in on the Lions, dude. I don't know why, but I was totally cool with it. That's how I was feeling at the moment. And so we start cheering for the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, what's this red? I was like, they got to get to that red line, dude, so they can kick this field goal. He's like, what's the red line, man? You know what I'm saying? He's young. He's like, kindergarten. And he's like, oh, we're past the red line. And then we get closer and they make the field goal and he's cheering. We're cheering. And then all of a sudden, we're like, I go get a drink and I come back and the game's over and Buffalo won.
That's what having a franchise quarterback does. Something the Carolina Panthers know nothing about these days.
Well, Buffalo's also got him a stud wide receiver.
Hey, we got a stud wide receiver. I'm sorry, DJ Moore's a stud wide receiver if you get him a franchise quarterback.
Did you guys see them hugging on the sideline?
Oh yeah.
It was a hug of relief. They've been playing kind of Buffalo's. They have a great record, but the last 3 or 4 games they've been kind of a little bit shaky. So that was just a hug of relief.
Yeah.
I bet the DJ was watching that and had tears running down his face. Like, I wish I had that.
Well, Josh Allen's been dealing with some sort of injury. He's been kind of playing with it. Yeah,
it's an elbow injury. He's talking about he could possibly need Tommy John surgery if he has to have surgery on it.
Yep. Wow.
Diggs. Wow. Diggs is just uplifting Allen so much. It's so cool to see a receiver. And when I say uplift, not like helping his play out. Like they said he was like encouraging him through the pain. Like they're in it together. Like Diggs said, you know what? I know what it's like to play with a quarterback I don't believe in, and I believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
What a great thing. I'm trying to think, is there any other, what are maybe storylines that came out of yesterday heading into this weekend that are on your mind? I mean, obviously, we're going to have to talk about Sammy D. We're going to have to talk about Matt Rhule, but what else? What do we want to talk about, guys?
I heard, last weekend, I think it was last week, the Philadelphia coach jumped up in the stands, or not in the stands, he got on the sidelines, had a little chat with the fans. I always thought he was just defending his team. I found out the other day that he didn't really defend his team. He was screaming at some Colt fans because he was saying that this was for Frank Wright, and he thought Frank Wright was done wrong. And
that's my good old Paisan Hustles Marinara is gonna like him too. That's the Sirianni.
Yeah,
My God, that's an Italian kid out there.
Yep.
Running his mouth. Nah, he was
Yeah.
upset. He believed in Frank Wright, and
Yeah.
it's kind of wild that he was like, "We did it for Frank. We got the W," and then they barely won.
Yeah. Wow.
Absolutely.
But you got to feel for Frank. I still think that whole situation was done by the owner. The owner said, "Start this quarterback," and okay, you started the quarterback. I told you to start, and he sucked, so you're fired.
And now they're starting Matt Ryan again.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the owner had his mind made up already. I mean, he wanted him out, and he wanted to bring in Saturday. And I think that's, at the end of the day, that's what he wanted to do, because Frank wanted Matt Ryan to start, and the owner said no, and then got fired. Yeah, it didn't make any sense. Yeah,
I agree.
So,
I think you're exactly right.
I did want to talk about the because I'm really curious with what you guys think about our offensive line this year, because I know we've taken a step forward for sure, but I mean, a lot of people think that we've taken like let's just say grading scale wise, last year probably we failed F probably, but like a lot of people think we've made it from like an F to an A, and I seem to think more so like we're like an average offensive line. But I kind of want to see what you guys think.
I think we're an above average offensive line, but the thing about our offensive line this year is they've improved so much that what we thought was a strength has turned out to be our weakness, because the line was so bad last year that Taylor Moton got a pass, and now it's so good this year that we're like, damn, Taylor Moton's not that good.
Yeah, I think that's true to a large point. We're also seeing, quarterbacks got a little bit more time to stand in the pocket.
Absolutely.
And that little more time in the pocket, they actually have to find somebody open. So now it's kind of exposing the fact that our wide receivers coach isn't that good, because he can't seem to teach his guys to get open. And comparable to last year, when everything failed, it was always blamed on the offensive line. The offensive line sucked, offensive coordinator sucked. It was always those two issues. The offensive coordinator still sucks, but nonetheless, the offensive line getting a quarterback time in the pocket, even Baker Mayfield had so much time, he actually held on to the ball too long, but because nobody was getting open.
Yeah, and our offensive line couldn't block a stunt last year to save their lives.
Right.
That was awful. I mean, you put a stunt against that offensive line, and you were getting to the quarterback.
Yep. And the side out Taylor Moton, he's not that good, but he's still better than, to my opinion, right now, he's better than his backup. So, that
depends, Pickle, because if you really want to think about it, if you want to put a good offensive line together, move Brady Christensen out to right tackle.
Oh, yeah.
In left guard,
right.
And
now
change that line.
Let me just say, in my opinion, come the offseason, if somebody would offer us a respectable offer for Taylor Moton would be gone. That's what I would do. There are folks on this roster, backup wise, I would love to see get more playing time. Cade Mays, I thought looked very impressive. I meant to look up that film last week that he played, because I thought they lined him up at fullback, but a friend of mine said he wasn't lined up at fullback. He just was lined up at guard or something. So I want to go back and look exactly what happened on that play he played in.
Yeah, I think it was fullback. I think he
was it lined up at fullback. Yeah. Because I know I read that earlier this offseason, right after they fired that while Rhule was here, they had Cade Mays lined up, taking second team reps at tackle, while at right tackle, and Cam Irving was doing second team reps at left tackle. But then when Matt Rhule got fired, Cade Mays started taking reps at center and guard. So I meant to look at, but nonetheless, I think we have good options already on the roster at right tackle. and respectively guard. We just haven't used them, and maybe waiting till the end of the season would be a better benefit. A little bit more time getting folks experience playing on the line. But I would still, though, before I move Brady to right tackle, I would ask him his opinion on something on it. To see if he would rather stay at guard or if he wouldn't mind to kick over.
Yeah. I mean, our offensive line has been so good this year. I mean, especially with continuity and those guys staying healthy. Nobody's heard the name Michael Jordan.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
But the thing is, so that's the thing I wanted to talk about was that our line hasn't gotten hurt a lot of that side of the ball, but that's probably because we're going 3 and out a lot this year. So it's like we're not really on the field. So it's like to me, that's why
that is true.
Talk about it. That's why I wanted to talk about it.
On any given play.
But that's where I looked at, because when I try to look at some tape and stuff, and I do I want to see how the routes are run, and by and large, the receivers aren't really running good routes, but and if they are, they're not really making good separation. And when they are separating, the quarterbacks have trouble getting into the ball. And I just wonder, though, I still go back to the wide receivers coach, because I didn't realize he didn't have any NFL experience. He wasn't even the top dog as the top wide receivers coach. He was assistant to the wide receivers coaches in college. So,
but Pickle, and I get what you're saying, but do you also notice that as far as the wide receivers go, I know we're a run-first team, but the receivers got a lot more love when PJ was under center compared to Baker being under center.
Exactly.
When Baker is under center. DJ Moore is a ghost. But, I mean, when PJ Walker is under center, the receivers are getting the ball.
Right.
And that's why I'm kind of excited to see Darnold this week. I'm kind of excited to see him.
Yeah, that may be true. Darnold's actually got a better, in my opinion, he's got a better arm and arm talent than both Walker and PJ. Sam's problem always been he gets a little skittish under pressure. So
I think when it comes back to Alex, when it comes back to Alex's question is that everybody's just brought up some points that are part of the equation, and we're trying to figure out. It's just kind of. One thing is this: the offensive line has been so historically bad in Carolina for 10 years, almost, or 6 years since 2015. Really, 20. Like, we really haven't had a good line. They've always had inherent deficiency at left tackle. When Khalil started getting hurt, we started to have problems at center. So one of the questions is the offensive line as good as people are making it out to be, or is it just better? And we love to see a better line. And really, it's just one of the better parts of our team right now. Maybe they're both a little true on that case. And then you go to this is one thing I think that has made us feel really good about this offensive line is that we've got Icky on it, and he's been so successful at left tackle. And that has sort of been some kind of bugaboo, or like we've just not been able to figure out left tackle since Jordan Gross, really. And so I think that makes us just feel better about this line, whether or not it's the case. And he's played so exceptionally well. That's been a good thing. I think that once we injected Bradley Bozeman into the line, that you started to see the center feel a little bit stronger.
And he has to be re-signed. We have to re-sign Bradley Bozeman.
Yeah, he's super. I mean, he's been very important. So I think that's good. But it's not like they have been flawless by any means. I mean, I think they're above average. When I say I think they're probably a top 15 offensive line. And I could see people making an argument for in the top 10. But we're not winning enough for anybody on this team, in my mind, to be top anything.
Yeah, but we don't have a quarterback to win it.
Yeah, and then my last kind of point about it is, or last I think that you brought up too, was real important, is that now we're starting to go as Moten the weaker link. And you're right, it's the offensive line is one of those things. It's hard to say like this player's good or bad when everybody around them is terrible. So we have been like, oh, Moten is being pulled down by a poor line. He's the best one on a bad line. Now is he
Right.
now is he starting to trend towards average on a better than average line? And at the end of the day, it is weird with the guy under center. Somehow the receivers get the ball and the other ones don't. And I'm right, Alex. I think Sam Darnold. How about this? How about we might get the most exciting quarterback on the damn roster now?
Tony, I can't believe I'm even saying that. I can't believe even. That's just like Sam Darnold, really? I don't know. I really think he's going to be like probably our best quarterback on the roster this year.
Let's be real. During preseason, who would have thought we would be waiting for Sam Darnold to get healthy so we can say Sam is the best wide receiver on the roster? I mean, quarterback, wide receiver, whatever.
Maybe even maybe wide receiver.
If he plays decently, is he the veteran bridge? Do they re-sign him to be the veteran bridge if he plays decently?
I've been saying it.
All right,
and that's why I said it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't. To me, because it'd have to be re-signed. To me,
I think one of these quarterbacks is coming back.
It
might be PJ or Sam. No, it's PJ or Sam at this point.
Bringing in my bastard son, white chocolate espresso.
Hell yeah!
Happy Thanksgiving. So you think if Sam Darnold comes in here? Yeah, you think we have one of these quarterbacks on the roster next year? Yeah.
Yes, I believe it's one of these, PJ or Sam. I think they're going to see which one they want to bring back by playing them.
Even if you get a completely different coaching regime in here.
No. If we get
yeah, that might be different.
If we get a completely different coaching staff, no, absolutely no. None of them will be back.
Well, McAdoo didn't want Sam or Baker, so I mean,
right.
Completely different.
But I think regardless, McAdoo won't be here. If Wilkes is hired as permanent head coach, I believe he sends the other than the offensive line coach. I think he sends the rest of the offensive coaches packing.
All right. So I guess the other thing to think about with this is, as the Panthers, if they are looking for a bridge quarterback, whether that bridge is to Matt Corral, whether that bridge is to a rookie that's drafted and either Matt Corral in that case, who else in the landscape is going to be available that is a type of bridge quarterback that could be intriguing to a regime more so? You know, you would be thinking it was Baker Mayfield. You were thinking now. Think of that. Yeah. That's how bad Baker's played. He played himself out of the league, it feels like. Who else is there?
I would say
Joe Flacco.
No,
I don't. I think Joe's just got too old. I mean, Joe Flacco's. Where's he? Is he in New York? No, he's not in New York. He's he's in New York.
He played pretty well with Zach Wilson now.
Yeah, well, he may be playing it. They ain't even using. They're going to white now, ain't they?
Yeah, his arm's dead, dude. There's like zero. Yeah. Can't get the ball at all.
I think it's Derek Carr. I really do. I think it's Derek Carr. There's a few that may be available, but I think Derek Carr will be available. I think Derek Carr is the best option we have as bridge quarterback now. I mean, don't folks misunderstand. I'm not saying sign him to a 5-year contract. Just, as a bridge quarterback between the rookie and because I think we'll draft a quarterback, but we'll have to go outside a veteran anyway. So
Daniel Jones is on a 1-year deal.
I was just asking, do the Giants bring back Daniel Jones? I think he's in his 5th-year option. Daniel Jones.
They didn't pick it up.
No.
Yeah, they didn't pick it up. But if you're the Giants, that's got to be your best option, is to bring him back. He fits the offer right now.
Well, I mean, you bring him back, they might still be drafting the quarterback, like a lot of people are saying the Panthers should do if we don't draft in the top 5 or 10. Not because we don't have a draft pick, because some people, the Anthony Richardson guy or whatever the people are pointing out. Maybe they're interested in that. There's always my guy, our guy.
Yeah.
From Philly.
Minshew?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine.
I forgot about him. I just did.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Oh, God.
Is he on a 1-year deal?
Yeah.
He's
He's a free agent next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a free agent next year.
It's tough to say like who's going to be that bridge quarterback just because like I don't even know if they're going to keep Wilkes. Obviously you talked about Tony, like if they get a new head coach, it might be someone else. So there's a lot of moving
it
parts.
varies. Yeah, it varies on who actually. It varies to me. It varies on your next head coach. We all know that no coach or no quarterback wanted to come here under Matt Rhule. You know, none of them did. The Rams quarterback Stafford didn't want to come here under Matt Rhule. Kirk Cousins, they tried to trade for him, and he refused to come here under Matt Rhule. So your next head coach, whoever it is, it will the veteran quarterbacks have to look and say, hey, that's going to be a great coaching staff. It's going to be a great place to go.
You brought up the fact of possibly bringing in Derek Carr. Are you thinking that the Raiders are going to release him?
Yes.
Because I don't want to bring Derek Carr in via trade.
I don't either, but knowing how Scott Fitterers seem to like to go out and trade for vet quarterbacks, I would, but I don't think you're going to get Derek Carr to come here for what Baker's come here for. So
we're trading for Zach Wilson.
When I looked at like a similar contract that the Falcons gave
Mariota.
Mariota. Trade for him, you have to take on his contract. From
exactly. So I know earlier I said something about trade. I wouldn't trade, but Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be available. To be honest with you, well, he'd be available too.
But how much money is he going to want? And no, James, absolutely not.
But here's a name nobody wants. Here's a name nobody wants. As soon as I say it, everybody's going to say
Baker?
no. But you've got to think he is a bridge quarterback now, and he's won some games. And
Jacoby Brissett.
I am. That's who I'm thinking about. I'm not saying I would do this, but you're Scott Fitterer. If you're Scott, hypothetically say Scott comes back, because if we don't win no more games, Tepper has full. You could expect Tepper to sign everybody out of here. GM, head coach, everybody.
But again, it's not their fault. What's going on now
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there's
Wilkes' fault.
You're right, but at the same time, that's the way the NFL works. That's business in the NFL work. Just because it's not your fault, don't mean you ain't gonna. It ain't. Here's what it is, like it or not.
Define bridge quarterback for me, because
bridge quarterback is a quarterback.
Like 2 years
to me, is a quarterback who will come in until your rookie's ready to
1
start.
to 2 years max.
Or a guy who can. Now this guy may be your starter or your backup. You know, he may, but to me, a bridge quarterback is a guy who can teach your rookie quarterback something. I don't want a bridge quarterback who's going to come here and say, hey, you may supposed to learn off me, but you can learn setting your ass on the bench. I'm taking your fucking job. I don't really want a quarterback like that. You go get a guy like, for example, you go get a guy like Daniel Jones. On a fifth, just leave it a fifth-year option, playing good or like that. He ain't gonna come here expecting to be a bridge quarterback. He's gonna go somewhere where he wants to sign a long-term deal, or the closest he can get to be a franchise quarterback.
Yeah,
probably like a.
Or that's what's in his head going.
Matt Rhule set us back almost 3 years because we're about to do what we should have done Matt Rhule's first season.
Right.
Cam Newton was the perfect bridge quarterback if you had a drafted Justin Fields. Cam plays 1 or 2 years. He was on a 1-year deal, which was cost friendly to the franchise. Let him play out that season. Let Fields learn behind him, and then let Fields take over the following season.
Well, Fields came out fast.
So that when Tom Brady left and the Saints were down and the Falcons were down, we were ready to run the NFC South, and Rhule screwed it up.
Well, Fields came after that year, Cam.
Yeah, well, Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater would have been a good bridge quarterback. But the problem is, when you kick a man when he's down and then turn around and help him up and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, forgot you were my quarterback." I mean, you go on the media, you go with the you go behind. Bring who back?
No, what he's saying is that it was fine throwing him under the bus and then bringing him back. But Teddy, once they started turning on Teddy, man, Teddy won't have none of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Teddy was actually telling the truth. Teddy was telling us stuff going on behind the scenes that nobody wanted to hear.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But you also got to look at
Mike private chat. Also, I think you're right, though. I think Kev is right that Fields was the year after.
Yeah, he was
because we were picking. Who did we pick that year?
That was the year Sam Darnold.
The Herbert year. Yeah, that's the Herbert year that we went with Teddy Bridgewater.
We could have got
and Hurney wanted to move up with the Giants in order to take Herbert, and Rhule said no.
We could have got Hurts, but we got YGM.
Yeah.
A lot of people are down on Hurts. Hurts has really been the great success story of the last few years, or last 5 or 6 years, of a quarterback who's truly been a later, a non-first. I don't like when they say Patrick Mahomes. He's picked 13th or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not, but so
he was mid-round. Yeah.
And he goes into a great situation. But I think Hurts is a real what people think as a project quarterback, and that is a success story in so many ways that they stuck with him.
Here's the name. I think
I agree with all of this, and I feel like we kind of run in circles on this conversation because we were all last year talking about we were Cool Toad. You're gonna have to show your camera if you want to come in. We got a policy where you got to put your face up. Now type in the chat who has the most sacks all time as a Carolina Panther. That background, you off to the side, totally looks shady, bro. And we have been bombed by shady people before. We ain't that gullible.
You got
to pass the. Oh, he's gone. You got to pass.
Taylor Heineke. Taylor Heineke is going to be a free agent, as well as Mike White, Geno Smith. And Kyle Allen. All of them are going to get a start this week.
Yeah.
So we know Taylor Heineke's going to start.
Geno is going to re-sign with Seattle.
They're going to resign.
Yeah. You think if that's a question though too. If the Commanders roster, does the Commanders fire Ron? If so, or do they keep Taylor Heineke? Would you bring Taylor Heineke in as a bridge?
Washington going off right now though.
Yeah. I think they keep Taylor Heineke, and I think they keep Rivera too.
Yep.
Carson Wentz may be gone.
Cooper Rush will be available. and listen, if Scott Fitterer hires a guy from the Cowboys, he may bring in Cooper Rush.
Stay away from Cowboys coaches.
Here's a guy. Here's a guy I like. Now we haven't seen him play this year, but I got to say his name. I think it's the guy Taylor Huntley. Is that guy that the Ravens backup? Yeah, backup quarterback.
He played well.
I liked him pretty well last year. Last year he played real good when he had the chance to start.
He fits their system.
Yeah.
You would have to be willing to run the Ravens system.
Well, if we draft a running quarterback, you never know who our next head coach be. Our next head coach may be the offensive coordinator for the Ravens. That throws the ball. That throws the kink in the. That throws kinks in plans. I think he would keep Hampton here anyway.
This was too early to talk about the offseason. Really.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
of all this list I'm looking at, guard issue might be go-to guy.
Well, that's
Yeah.
where it's like we're coming back to Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
You're
you're right.
Guys,
You're exactly
don't
right.
think we don't have a
And it-
shot? You don't think we have a shot for the playoffs? We're only 2 games back. We're still
No.
all right. I'm
No.
trying to keep a positive outlook, Tony.
I mean,
Okay.
let me tell you,
I like the upbeat, but right now
Yeah.
I'm just wondering we have a shot on Sunday.
We would have to wait.
Yeah, that's
You
me.
can't predict this team. You can't predict this team.
That's me. I'm going one game at a time. What'll happen will happen. I'm going one game at a time.
Yeah.
If I start thinking about, well, if we win this game and we win this game and we win this game and this team loses this game, then maybe we'll be able to squeeze ourselves in there. Then I get lost in the hype, and pretty soon when they lose one game, I'm so down below that I can't get myself up.
Honestly, guys, I just want to win enough games that Steve Wilkes keeps the job at this point.
I got a question for you all. It's about the
I would
upcoming
like that.
draft.
That's going to be the most boring off season we're going to have, man. We need some content creator for this website, for this show. Not just go back with Steve Wilkes, bring back Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
God bless
you
America.
you can only discuss the same thing.
Agency, we still got the draft. You got to fill out the rest of the coaching staff because Ben McAdoo's going to be out of here. If Steve Wilkes gets his job, McAdoo's gone. Yeah. So, do you bring in Pep Hamilton as the offensive coordinator?
Well, you can't, though, unless he gets fired from the Texans.
Levy Smith's probably going to get fired. Levy Smith's probably getting fired.
Oh, he's most definitely getting fired.
Well, who would take? Well, I don't want to say who. Who would? I mean, the Texans hire and fire. They've in the 5 years have they not hired and fired 5 different coaches?
Pretty much.
Welcome
I mean,
to Houston.
take that again.
But Pickle,
I mean, you can always get.
You know exactly why that happened because they wanted to hire Josh McCown as their head coach, and they couldn't because of the whole Brian Flores situation.
Yeah, well, that didn't stop. That didn't stop Jim Irsay.
Yeah, but he's saying, it was in the middle of the season and it was an interim coach, and he had to hire somebody he was comfortable with. So
they should have hired Matt Rhule.
What are you talking about? Saturday? Is that?
Yeah.
Actually, look, the Saturday stuff is. I'm interested if anybody has been able to find any. I have not watched the Colts games. Look, so I'm just going to be honest. I've not watched either of these Colts games. Has he made any blunders though? Because the team has been rather competitive in both of the games. They won one. And they pushed the Eagles all the way to the end. It took a last-minute fourth-quarter touchdown by Jalen Hurts to win by 1. Has he looked disorganized? Has he made bad challenges? Has it been terrible with the?
Well, he ain't calling the plays, is he?
No, but he's running football 1-on-1. He's running the football and playing hard-nosed defense.
Yeah. Exactly. I
think
they were
overthinking it.
Yeah, I think they were throwing the ball way too much with Matt Ryan beforehand with Frank Wright. I think they were just throwing the ball, and that's not really their game plan. Their game is to run the ball, play defense, and not turn the ball over. So I think he kind of went back. They went to that, and they started to play better. So,
but if Matt Ryan or if Frank Wright wasn't calling the plays, then how could he be held responsible for the wrong play calling?
Because he could have took over.
Yeah, he's the head coach.
He could have took over. Like, I'm calling.
They're just bad all over the place. But I don't even know if it was that by necessity. You're right. They were throwing the ball like an incredible amount. Like I saw Matt Ryan with like a 50 passing attempt game. You're like, what in the world?
Kind of like McAdoo was doing.
Taylor was hurt
first part of the season.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is strange. We still want to know the impetus behind the Ben McAdoo change. Is this instructive from the top to him to get it together?
Honestly, Tony, I believe it's honestly the head coach. Matt Rhule gets in front of the camera and he talks about, we're going to run the football. And then you turn around the next week and they're throwing it 40 times. But when Steve Wilkes says we're going to run the football, they run the football. That's the difference between a guy you stick out there as a figurehead and a head coach. This is what we're going to do. And if you can't do it, I will find somebody that will do it.
I've read something about the players. That's where the players is it Steve Wilkes has a a different attitude. He has an attitude where he's almost forceful, but the players know it's not being a bully forceful. It's here's what you're going to do. Here's what I expect you to do. Here's what you're going to do. Comparable to Matt Rhule, who was, come on, buddy, let's do it this way, okay? I think that we would really be a better job doing it this way. So
he's playing with house money. He's expecting to get fired. So, I mean, so he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to do whatever I want.
But now Steve Wilkes, I think Steve Wilkes has already proved quite a bit this year. I think he'll have a job in the NFL, whether he's with the Panthers or not. I really expect a coach to come out and get him at the very least for an offensive, or at least for a defensive coordinator. So because somebody's going to need a defensive coordinator.
Elevate him to the head coaching position. I mean, he's done.
I would. Yeah. I'd elevate him and leave him right there. So
exactly. I mean, these players are playing hard. That defense went to Baltimore against Lamar Jackson and held him in check for 3.5 quarters. If anybody had told us last week that we were going to hold the Baltimore Ravens at 13 points, we would have all said we win this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
Or that we just wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you honestly, if somebody told you last week, said, I guarantee you this defense will hold Lamar Jackson and the Ravens at 13 points, you would have been like, shit, we win this game.
I mean, somebody on the chat said a while ago that we've actually got a team. We're just missing a quarterback. That ain't far from the truth. If you go back and look at each game, we are not winning for basically one or two plays, literally. At each game, we're not being blown out 30-0 every single game this year.
That was Cincinnati, and the guys were sick that game.
Yeah,
but other than that, we've not been blown out.
What's up with sick? Everybody's sick now. Yeah, every single you got.
Bro.
Yeah, it's the holiday.
It sounded like they had something almost like to the point of food poisoning.
Oh, yeah, really? they need to.
That's what they were talking about. It said
you know what they're probably doing? Matt Rhule's wife's probably sending the food over and they eating it. That's probably what it is.
Or they're eating that Jacksonville Jaguar food over there.
Yeah, because Derek Brown, they said he was violently ill. That's why he couldn't come back in. They said he was losing fluids left and right.
This happened to my college team that they had some sort of food poisoning through breakfast or something with the team. And like 12 dudes were like, and it was like all the starters too. Like, they were probably all eating at the same table out of the same batch of eggs or whatever that got them sick. And they were trying to and this was earlier in the week, but they were like, how can you manage practice? How, and these kids are just jogging all day and shitting their pants out. But I think right now I saw that there are 8 people on the injury list. Maybe I glanced yesterday or on Thanksgiving that said illness. So sickness, flu bug floating around there maybe right now. Let's talk about this game, guys. Denver comes to town. Are we really just 2 games out? This can't be possible.
Yeah.
We really are.
Yeah.
2 games. That's why
how bad this division
I can't give up. I'm not going to give up. I know. I'm a realist, but I can't give up.
If you won out, we would win the division.
It's possible, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Right. No, I might just thinking about Sunday, but gosh, I really do think the Bucs make a late season push here. I think they start to find ways to win, and just kind of eke out the division and get into the playoffs and maybe make somebody's life kind of miserable as a team. You don't want to play with Tom Brady in the first round of the playoffs, but I don't think he's cooked entirely. I think that's an overblown storyline. I think there's a lot of other reasons that team has been struggling, but the Panthers are hosting a very bad Denver Broncos team. And now we all, or at least I believe in the sports industry and just as fans, we tend to latch on to some perspectives that we maybe we form going into the season. And then we ultimately try to hope that those ideas come to fruition, right? And it takes us a long time to abandon some of those things that we believed in despite evidence. And what I'm trying to get to is this: is I made a play in fantasy. You're always projecting, trying to find a way to get more value out of somebody that you don't have to draft in the first. And I targeted Jerry Jeudy in round 3, I think, two or three as my wide receiver. And then coming around the middle rounds, I said Russell Wilson with receivers in Denver is going to go there, and he's going to light it up. And it just didn't come to fruition. It just hasn't worked in any level. 1 week he might be okay. The other week all the receivers are hurt. He's been bad. The whole team's been bad. And I go on this radio show, guys, once a week, and we do picks. We just do not against the spread, just straight up across the NFL, and we keep up with them all season long, and we've been doing it for 9 years. And I just keep picking the Broncos because of the law of averages, right? Like, I just it's got to come together. It's got to come. Kind of like how I felt with Baker. I didn't think Baker was going to be a savior, but I thought at some point it had to have been a little bit better than the worst that it was. And the trash all over the place. The other is this, but my friend, we're picking the games, and I don't really want to pick Carolina in any game right now. Not because I don't want them to win, but it's just hard at this point with so many unknowns to say, yeah, we should go out there and win this game. Can we win it? One thing. Will we win it? A different one. And he goes, don't pick Denver. You can't pick Denver again. You can't pick Denver again. So I kind of got bullied into picking the Panthers in a way. What do you guys think about the real shot of a bad Denver team traveling across the country, injured and wounded? Cortland Sutherland, or Sutton, whatever his name is, their number one option. No Jerry Jeudy, no Melvin Gordon. He's been cut. A quarterback who is losing, and a head coach who has just been miserably bad against the unknown Sammy D Panthers.
Yeah,
I mean their scoring offense is worse than ours.
This is a game, Tony. This is a game where you go to a bar, you find a bar on Sunday, and you pick your favorite drink, and you tell them to keep them coming, because this is gonna be a game where it's probably gonna be a snoozer, a lot of punts. So, it's gonna be a tough game. I think for the Panthers, we always play tough, or we always seem to lose to the Broncos, at least the last few times that I've seen. So,
I haven't looked a lot. How good are the Broncos against the run?
I seen it on Facebook.
That's a good question. I know their defense is good.
Yeah, but so you're saying if the Panthers can get up by 2 touchdowns, we pretty much won the game.
I would think so.
Yeah, I mean, if they score over 18, they pretty much win the game, I think. Because, I think, what's the record? I think they'd be 9-1 or something, or if they have 19 or more.
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay, let's if the Panthers win Sunday, let's slow down on Sammy D as our stud quarterback here, okay? We let's be honest, we kind of folks got carried away on PJ Walker.
Well, they're probably the toughest defense we have to play with.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, Pickle. Why we got hyped was after that game, we're a game back. So let's just say Sammy D wins on Sunday, and the Bucks lose to Cleveland. We're a game back. Of course, Panther fans are going to be hyped. We're going to be hyped.
Okay. We're technically, we may be 2 games back, but for those to take advantage of them 2 games, we're going to have to win the remaining games. We're going to have to hope the Falcons, who beat us twice, and
no, they only beat us once.
Okay, well, still, we're going to have to hope that the Falcons and the Bucks both keep losing. I mean, this is the way it is. Now,
they
our luck.
They have the Browns, Saints, and Niners. The Bucks, the next 3 games. Browns, Saints.
Yeah,
Niners.
that's just that's a brutal schedule, ain't it?
How about this? Is that the Broncos' run defense is better than ours? Let's put it that way.
Yeah, their defense is legit.
I mean, it's not too bad. They are right behind. They're probably middle, a little bit middle of the pack when it comes to total rushing yards per carry. They are middle.
If they're not top 5, we can run on them.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that we don't have a good running defense usually either.
I don't think the Ravens.
So let me throw this question out: Who traded for the worst quarterback? Denver traded for Russell Wilson, or the Panthers traded for Baker Mayfield? Who got the worst end of the deal?
Denver, absolutely.
Denver, absolutely.
Because they re-signed him to that long extension, and they gave up first-round picks.
We only paid $3 million.
Yeah,
they paid $243 million.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not ready to say that Wilson is. Maybe I'm just.
It could be the coach.
Honestly, Tony, look at our defense. Our run defense since Wilkes has taken over has gotten better.
It was last week, that's for sure. It wasn't against the Bengals, though.
Well, again, everybody was sick with food poisoning that week, so I throw that game out. I don't count that game.
I still don't believe that.
I want to give a shout out to Nick Montero, a fellow free-for-aller. He said, keep pounding. Happy National Fat Kid Day. I'll see everybody next Friday. Sunday is the battle of the future backups. Nick Montero, $4.99 love bomb. Russell Wilson coming to town. Sam Darnold in the house making his debut. Russell Wilson's certainly going to have time to rejuvenate his career in Chicago and Denver. They've paid so much for him and allocated. They're not going to be able to give up on him at least for 2 more years. So they're just going to have to live with an aging quarterback that they made a mistake or not. Now, Sam Darnold, I wonder how much pressure is on him right now. I almost feel like this is a relieving kind of way to enter the game. In that you've already had the quote unquote trade happen where Baker came in and they didn't believe in you and you had to do all the press stuff for that. Then
he's behind the best offensive line he's ever played with.
Yeah. Then you have you lost the job in the preseason to Baker because they thought he gave you a better option. That clearly didn't happen in reality when Baker took the field. You even were still injured enough to where PJ could come in and at least for a moment try to convince and tease you that he was better, but then he also showed so many inconsistencies. I feel like Sam Darnold right now has probably got the least pressure on his shoulders as Carolina Panther quarterback heading into this game behind the best offensive line that he's had ever.
Sam Darnold is playing with house money right now.
Yeah.
Nobody expects anything from Sam Darnold, so Sam can go out there and let it rip. If he throws 3 interceptions, we expected him to do that. So he has no worries. Just go out there and sling it. Run the game plan and do what you do.
Yeah.
If you're the Denver Broncos, you know what you do? If you fire your head coach this year, you go out and you hire the Seahawks offensive coordinator as your head coach. Because that way, it's Shane Waldron. I don't know that he's even smart enough to do it. But let's be bluntly honest. You paid that much money for your quarterback. You gave up that much money for the quarterback. You've got to get him in a system that he knows. Because you're too far in to scrap everything and go forward. So you just got to go get somebody that's used to Russell and that knows what Russell can do.
The Denver
Pretty much
Broncos
give him the same offensive he's had since he's been Denver. Because let's be honest, let's think of it this way. Maybe it wasn't Russell Wilson that was so good. Maybe it was this system that Pete Carroll uses that made Russell Wilson who Russell Wilson is.
The Denver Broncos
just like everybody said that
is in a worse position than the Carolina Panthers at this point.
Yeah, because remember when Brady was in with the Patriots, everybody said it wasn't Brady, it was the system. So Brady went to the Bucs to prove everybody wrong.
I don't think people really said that. They may have said that in the very beginning.
Yeah,
but I think Brady did enough for long enough. Everybody knew that he was an incredible.
He was the best
quarterback.
I also think the Broncos I think their wide receiver team, like the wide receivers, are a little overrated, honestly, if you ask me. But I kind of want to, as far as Russell Wilson goes, I still want to give him another shot. Like I think this is just like one of those years. It happens, I guess. But I don't think he's like on the downfall. I just think maybe like you said, maybe someone new, a system that he knows a little bit better, that might help him out a little bit.
Maybe they need to go hire Brian Schottenheimer. He was with Russell for a long time.
I heard Melvin Gordon was playing future, and that's why they cut him.
No, I think he fumbles the ball too much. Yeah, I mean, but I'm excited. Honestly, it's weird for me to say Tony and everybody, but I can't believe I'm excited to kind of see what Darnold could do on Sunday. I'm really excited to see. Yeah, it's just like
it's almost going to be a little too late at this point for me.
Yeah,
it's like I would have almost been happy this happened 2 weeks ago.
It should have happened last week.
You're right.
But this is going to give him a lot of time. They didn't. Yeah. Maybe they did him a favor and not rush him in either.
That's true.
He's been hurt. He hasn't been dead.
But didn't they say
I know he's got the playbook? He's probably been listening on the mics. It's not like he's taken over an offense that he was introduced into 4 days ago.
Didn't Wilkes come out and say like PJ could have played last week, but he decided not to? So like, why isn't PJ playing this week?
Well, now on the injury report, he's listed as out or doubtful, very doubtful. I don't think PJ's. I think PJ's really hurt, and I don't think he's going to be available this week. I don't know that he's going to be available next week.
Well, no.
But if Sam comes out, if Sam beats the Broncos, if we beat the Broncos, and PJ's healthy next week, who do you start, Sam or PJ?
No, you start Sam. You go with the
guy you got to go with who's winning.
Yeah, but I mean the thing is like PJ. I think if it were a really big game, he'd probably play. But since we're kind of almost out of it, and it's a bye week next week, we got a bye week, I believe. So like they're gonna probably give him a couple weeks to, recoup, get the ankle ready. But I mean, they're just gonna see what Darnold's got. If Darnold gets the W, they're gonna stick with him. That's what you got to do.
It's crazy. I'm looking at
PJ's doubtful.
I'm looking at the Broncos like one of the Broncos fan pages.
Yeah,
and it's like looking at the Carolina Panthers fan page. It's just like talking about how bad we are, how bad their team is, and how bad the Panthers are. There's like nothing good. Like I'm trying to figure out how they believe they're going to beat us, and it's almost because we stink so much. That's the only reason. Like they don't point to themselves. All right, so here's
the same to them.
Yeah. How many games will the Broncos win to close out the season is one of the questions they're asking on their website, and they think the over/under is 1. So it's like the Panthers or nobody in their mind. Crazy.
Yeah.
How did they?
They got a tough schedule, man. They got a tough schedule.
So let's ask this: if the Panthers win Sunday, does the Seahawk coach get fired because he got beat by Sam Darnold?
Oh, you mean the Denver coach?
Yeah, Denver. I mean,
I'm surprised
Hackett's already on the. Hackett's on the hot list now anyway. His seat's so hot, it's on fire.
I think they'll if you haven't fired your coach mid-season right now, I think that you just wait till the Black Tuesday or whatever, and you just fire them immediately after the last.
When they fire Ron?
They fired him the first week of it was around the first week of December, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was weird. Tepper said
it was the first week of December.
Like, want to give him a head start. Tepper said he wanted to give him a head start. I was like, I don't know.
Well, he did. I mean, technically, because Ron was talking to Washington before the season ended.
Yeah,
or that's what I was heard anyway.
Well, he gave him a head start to do his little PR campaign. Remember, Ron went on the radio and thanked everybody. He went on Good Morning Football or whatever it was and stuff. But, Ron Rivera's team. I told my friend he's a Commanders fan, and he said he was fed up with Ron by the end of September or early October. It's just like, man, I don't think this is going to work anymore. It's going to work. And a lot of the same things that are upset about is that first is just that the improvement hadn't come in the time period, like in the 3 years. The defense wasn't playing as great as you would expect under a Ron Rivera team, and the continued fumbling and weirdness at the quarterback position. Like kind of a lot of the questions that we were saying about things we were saying about Ron, I said, well, you man, watch out for Ron, man. November and December are his months, bro.
Yep, they are.
And look, they've won 5 out of 6, the Commanders.
Yeah.
And they play the Giants again. Like it's a total 2014 season for Ron here. Or Ron would what was it? Was it maybe it was 2012 when we were about to fire him in the second year? Like everybody's like, this dude's got to go, and he reeled off like 6 out of 8 wins at the back end of the season or something.
I think it's 2013.
Yeah. We were 12-4 in 13 though.
Yeah, but we started out slow.
This is Ron Rivera's time of the year.
I know,
if the playoffs happened today, Washington would all 4 of the NFC East teams would be in the playoffs. All 4 of them.
Wow.
All 4 of them. That's just amazing to me.
Who started with a bench Davis Mills? Who started?
Kyle Allen, yes.
Kyle
Allen.
I didn't think
it was Taylor Heineke versus Kyle Allen. Like, you can't make this shit up.
No.
Yeah.
It's like the Battle of the Bastards.
So, all right. So, look, is that somehow with Sam Darnold coming in week whatever this is, 11? What is this?
12? I think 12.
If you would have said at the beginning of the season that Sam Darnold would be making a debut after, it's just hard to believe that you could conjure a world where Sam Darnold coming into the game after not wowing you for the first 11 games would be an upgrade. But right now we're walking into this trying to figure out something about this Carolina Panthers team, and the defense played remarkably stout against the Ravens, and you can't overlook that last week in a tough environment on the road. The Ravens' home environment is one of the best in the entire league, and now you're sitting here going, we got a wounded Denver team. Can we win this? How can we win this game? Because I was looking up, Alex, what you said is the type of game, just saddle up to the bar and say, keep them coming. One of the Denver sites said, they go, I could really see this being a 0-0 game at halftime.
I'm actually not mad that I'm working Sunday.
I don't see that happening. Honestly, I believe Carolina gets the run game going. Deontay Foreman gets in the end zone, and I think Steve Wilkes lets that defensive front loose. I think Brian Burns gets a couple of sacks on Russell Wilson this week.
I'm just kind of glad I'm working this Sunday. So
I think it's going to actually be a decent game, guys. I really do. I don't know if I'm just being optimistic, but I think Carolina's going to have a really good game this week.
It's going to be like the U.S. soccer team versus the English soccer team.
You know what's bad? If you look at the Panthers' injuries, we have one healthy tight end. That's it. The ones listed as out, and the others are questionable or doubtful. We literally have one. Tommy Tremble's the only tight end we got that's healthy. And tight ends, we use the tight ends as paramount to help pass blocking and run blocking.
Well, at least blocking is Tommy Tremble's big forte.
So.
The most exciting game that we've played this year. We lost.
I mean, that's including our so-called fullback that's also listed as a tight end. So
Ricci.
But I guess if worst one's the worst, you can put in offensive lineman and say that he's your tight end.
Cam Irving.
This is a game. This is a game I hope to see.
Or the guy they used last week, Cade Mays.
All right, go ahead, Alex.
Oh, this is a game I hope I see like some Johnny Hecker, some magic. Like we get a little fake punt action. This is one of those kind of games where
Like
we
you
should
win at
we'll
all
probably see
costs.
that.
It
Yeah.
could be.
I think it's going to be one of those kind of games where you're going to be like, you're going to see some fake punts, especially if we're like near the 45 midfield area. That's what I think. It's going to be one of those kind of games. So,
We'll try to figure out a little bit more about this game right now. I want to remind everybody that the C3 Panthers podcast is sponsored by PrizePicks. This is your daily fantasy sports hubcap hub where you go and you get to make a bunch of money or sometimes be a little frustrated like me when it comes to daily fantasy football sports. The way it works is you find multiple players and you try to calculate if they're going to go more than or less than their projected sports their projection for yards, catches, whatever it may be. You go to prizepicks.com, you download the PrizePicks app, and you use the promo code C3. You'll get a 100% first-time deposit bonus up to $100. I tell you, if PrizePicks if they were not a sponsor, I'd still be talking about them. In fact, I talk about them on this show in many episodes where they are not paying for the read at all. But they have sponsored our Tuesday and Friday free-for-all, our Tuesday show and the Friday free-for-all, for us to help look at and forecast the game based on some of the player projections that are coming out. And the one, if you pull up right away, PrizePicks right now, you just pull up the NFL under passing yards, the first two quarterbacks that show up in the house are Russell Wilson and Sam Darnold. Now, I just want to tell you guys this Russell Wilson number is moving. I took Russell Wilson earlier in the week on the Tuesday show with more than 226.5. This number has moved down to 2019.5. You're getting a free 7 yards in comparison to Tuesday. Today's Friday. Is it? Are you still there, Kev?
Yeah.
Today's Flex Friday, right? Can we make, or did we miss the window? Did it end at 8?
There's Justin Jefferson. Well, yeah, I remember he was.
Yesterday was a free Justin Jefferson. By the way, I've been on a poor run the last couple ones, but they gave you a free square yesterday. All he had to get was more than a yard or get a yard. He reeled off 139 yards. How about that? Is Justin Jefferson? When was he drafted?
First round.
First round? Okay.
Yeah.
He is a beast, man.
They got him with the Diggs trade.
You know, and they didn't lose. They didn't downgrade. Think about that. Is you have they're arguably the two best receivers in the league right now.
That was definitely a win-win.
Yeah, definitely. So if you go to PrizePicks, you can put in multiple entries. The more you put in, so if you do 2 players and you hit both of them right, you go from you triple your money. You do 3 players, you get 5 times your money. You can get up to 10. Like you can really make some loot doing this. We're gonna find some winners right now.
I need 67 yards from Waddle to win $600. So
what? That's it?
Yep. Also got I need 77 yards from Chubb and 60 yards from Andrews. And if I get all 3, I get $1,300.
Welcome to PrizePicks, folks. Welcome to PrizePicks. My bastard son said this. I don't need your money, Dad. Take your degenerate gambling somewhere else because I'm a winner.
I'll make my own child support,
Dad. Yeah. All right. So if we look at this game, we'll just look at the Panthers first. Is Sam Darnold, 182.5 passing yards. Deontay Foreman, I like this number a lot, 56. I wonder where that's moved from. It's gone up. So I got it a little cheaper on Tuesday.
Foreman's is down. I think Foreman was down last time I checked.
No, on Tuesday it was 50.
Oh, what? Oh.
Yeah. So I got him. This is my entry from the Tuesday show. I got him at 50.5 yards on Tuesday. Russell Wilson's number has gone down while Foreman's has gone up. I still feel like 56.5 yards is not problematic for him. Like that to me is like still a favorable number.
Did
And right
DJs go up because of Sam? I wonder.
I don't know what it was on Tuesday. I didn't make the play then. I don't know if it went up or went down either. But DJ has been so erratic this season. Is he just due at this point? Look, 3 games where he's been under 47. Look, he hasn't even come close to 47.
I wouldn't try it with Denver. Not with Denver's defense.
Yeah, I mean, Terrace Marshall Jr., I feel like right now has become a is it just getting too I don't know. It's like I'm not even feeling great about any of the I don't know anything about the pass game with Darnold right now.
Yeah.
I think the best corners are covering DJ and leaving Marshall open, because Marshall's one of these kids that is getting the sloppy second corners or third corners even maybe, and then because we don't have really a third. Our third wide receiver is giving the ball to the opposing team more than he is helping the Panthers. So.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, but I think too is that you just see in Terrace Marshall Jr. Show what, like, that his physical traits alone in the NFL. He's tall, he's fast, he's got good body control, he's got good hands, and like, I mean, what else do you need? And to me, and I don't know if this was me just kicking a dead dog while it was down, or a hurt dog while it was down when we fired Matt Rhule. But I put this tweet as probably one of my most successful tweets in the history of me tweeting. And it was that Terrace Marshall Jr. is the biggest, how do I put it, indictment that Matt Rhule was a fraud.
And don't worry, you're not kicking a hurt dog because he's got some money.
Yeah, like
hey guys, unrelated to PrizePicks, but Anthony Richardson just went down.
Who did they play?
They're playing Florida State.
Like hurt.
I might
he just got up. He looks like he took a shot to the head. They just got him up. Quarterback Kenton, number 11's coming into the game, but he's already thrown a 52-yard touchdown pass.
I didn't know they were playing.
Yep, it's 7-7.
Do you guys? Oh, Latavius Murray is their starting back. Is he under in this game? Is the Panthers run defense going to show out this week?
Wait a minute, is Walker? Oh, wait, I'm thinking of. Never mind. That's Denver.
I like taking these quarterback rushing yards right here, like 12.5. I bet you Russell can capture that, but still, he's not as young as he used to be. Used to cover that all the day. Any of you guys like any of these?
Not really.
Okay. All right.
Tony, do you check the running backs for Miami? Miami game?
Let's check all the running backs right here.
I mean, Mark Andrews is 60 yards, which I think he can get easily. They're playing Houston, I think. Oh, no, that's Dolphins. Never mind.
Brian Robinson, 50.5 rushing yards versus the Falcons. I kind of like that number. We destroyed the Falcons on the ground with the ground game.
Isn't he the backup?
No, Robinson the starter.
Yeah, he came back from them gunshots. He got shot out of a gun. Now, see, Derrick Henry 95.5 against Cincinnati. Kareem Hunt 28.5. Who'd you say? Miami?
Yeah, the Miami game.
Is Miami's running back? They don't have a rushing play. You know what? They're two running back committee probably for PrizePicks at this point, because right now they got Tua at over 285.5. Tyreek Hill 95.5. Waddle, you got him at a good number. It's up to 75.5 right now. Tough week so far. See if we see anything. You guys can speak up if you see anybody that you
I
like.
got Waddle at 66.5. So
Yeah, so you've got him at on a discount. Don't love Gino. Ooh, Gino actually against Las Vegas defense might be all right.
yeah, Vegas defense is not good.
Hurts versus Green Bay, 230 yards passing.
Hmm.
What do you think? They're just gonna have to ground and pound against that team?
Honestly, I don't know. I typically go with the touchdown passes,
Like, see what else we got?
like
Ooh,
catching or interceptions. Like Heineke, who are they playing with?
Oh, Heineke will get that.
He'll right now. 3 options on
Yeah.
passing touchdowns. Will Tom Brady throw more than what? Well, he threw 2.
Like I
against
think
Cleveland.
Gino might throw 2.
But they run the ball so much with Walker.
Yeah.
I like the Brady 2
I
touchdowns.
do like that. Just like that. Go there. See receiving yards. We'll see if we like any.
I mean Drake London because of what's his name from Atlanta?
Pitts hurt.
The tight end.
Yeah, Pitts. But they don't
Yeah.
throw the ball at all.
No.
I like this one almost. Curtis. Look, they still got Curtis Samuel in his Carolina. Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Amari Cooper. Ooh, Amari Cooper versus Tampa Bay. That might be good. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. See who we got.
Andrew's gone up.
It's a tough week. I don't feel great about anybody this week.
Nah.
I know.
Kittle? 45.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, who are they playing?
New Orleans.
Oh,
And
They're just a weird team because like sometimes
Too many
one guy
weapons.
has too many weapons, so it's like it's tough. But I mean, Kittle should get 45. I mean,
I can get that on one play. Do we like Baltimore's defense? So I don't know if I want to pick a running back against Baltimore's defense.
I wouldn't.
what about Eckler?
Eckler. Ooh, 50.
I think he does most of his damage receiving, though.
Yeah. He's only had one game this year where he's gotten that number, and it was last week. They're trying to tease you with recency.
Yeah. I think they have the average for you. You can look at too.
do you think maybe Darnold gets that over, or no? Not at all. Like they're not going to throw the ball.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to run it.
You think
I don't know. Like, I don't think that they can just be like that.
I think they're going to try to do a
I just
game.
think there's one of these games that you just like. I don't know. I just think it's one of those games that like he's going to have to throw it.
I think.
But I don't know.
About Mariota? Does you
It's
think he
sad.
gets 57?
No, he never does.
Then I
It's
think
so
well, you pick under. You can do the under.
Yeah, it's just sad that like 180, like we're hoping for 182 or 183 from our. I mean, from
I agree.
really?
Do you know how many times I put a prize pick on Baker Mayfield this year just because it was like
So low.
so low? You're just like, you know what? Oh, let's run with it.
I mean, I
Just
mean,
go straight 20 on this and make
Tennessee's
$100.
defense is not good. You might want to look at Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase is coming back.
What's Burrow? Is he even up here?
Yeah, he's up. Go up. Go back up. 275. He's right there. Just like,
against Tennessee.
and he's got Jamar Chase coming back.
Man,
That's a lot, though. So we're sitting here fretting over 170 something, and you're like, man, this guy's got to go out and blow the doors off of it.
yeah, that's like.
But Joe Mixon is out. Joe Mixon's out.
Joe
Joe
Mixon's
Mixon's out too.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. We're going 4 picks this week.
Yeah.
Should we go under with Sam Darnold?
I might, because he might be running a lot too. Like on all those pass plays, he might take off.
It's just crazy. It's crazy to think that like 182. I mean, I think like Joe Burrow does that in like 3 passes.
Yeah, I feel like that's a bad game. Is 182.
Yeah.
Anthony
That was a
Richardson's got a
bad-
hand injury.
That was a bad
Tried
Josh
this. I'm trying
Allen
to make
game.
$100
Why
right
Big
there.
Pickle, is he out for the rest of the game?
Well, they're saying that he's trying, but the trainers aren't letting him do too much on the sidelines. So I haven't heard he's out yet, but I would imagine. Their backup quarterback is Jalen Kitna, who's the son of
John
Kitna. Yeah, so that's curious to see if he can play better than his father did. So
And they already scored another touchdown. It's 14-7 Florida.
exactly. So
This. Yeah. Let's see.
because
Nick
it's
Montero,
John
check
Kitna was his career
history.
backup, wasn't he?
P. Ryan is running back 1-1, and Chase is back. Yeah. By the way, look, is just go ahead and tell you what we did on PrizePicks. Remember, use the promo code C3 when you go and sign up for PrizePicks. You get a 100% first-time sign-up bonus up to $100. And this is what we did. We did Tom Brady more than 1.5 touchdowns. George Kittle more than 45.5 receiving yards. Sam Darnold more than 182.5 passing yards. And Joe Burrow more than 275.5 passing yards. $10 will net 100. I didn't do the flex. I probably should have flexed this one, folks, but I like to go for the gold right now. I need to make up some grounds. This is how fun it gets. It gets like too fun. PrizePicks brought to you, or the C3 Panthers podcast brought to you by PrizePicks. Guys, what else is there to talk about when it comes to the Carolina Panthers? At what point are we going to start preparing for I guess maybe who the next head coach is going to be? How much does Wilkes have to do to get this job still? I know that you guys said, I know that I think it was Drew that said, look, is that you want to see Wilkes play into this position. Is there enough ground for him to cover to play into this position in your mind?
I think he's already done enough, honestly. I mean, these guys weren't believing in themselves. These guys actually feel like they can win.
Make no
They
sense.
just don't have a quarterback.
This makes no sense.
The Panthers, that made sense all year.
They just don't have a quarterback. That defense is playing.
Does anybody else feel that way, that he's done enough?
I don't think he has. He has to be someone not from the NFC South.
Right.
Okay, question, guys. Any of you really believe if Matt Rhule was head coach, we would have played Baltimore 13-3 last week?
No, but that's
Probably,
to be honest with you, if it was me, I would hire
Matt Rhule,
Wilkes today as our head coach for permanent. But it's not up to me. I think David Tepper is waiting for a game that hasn't happened yet, and I'm not sure it's going to. So, I mean, I don't think David Tepper really is paying attention to how much better the team responded to Wilkes. Tepper could go into the belief that, that was because Rhule was so bad, and maybe go getting a better head coach, but
Guys,
there was a report.
Will you cover this conversation real quick while I just make a glass of water?
Yeah.
Heat it up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guy. I really think that he's done enough to get this job. I just think that right now he doesn't have the quarterback in order to do it, and it's not his fault. Matt Rhule brought these quarterbacks in, and all of us, if we go back and watch all the C3 episodes from the time Matt Rhule took this job over, what is the one thing we all said? He needs to bring in a young quarterback and stop bringing in these retreads and put his system in place, and he never did.
Right. He also had plenty of opportunity.
Retread after retread. Yeah. And we ran in place. Right. This should be the year that we take over the NFC South. Brady's on the downturn. Atlanta's garbage. New Orleans is garbage. If we had taken a rookie quarterback in one of those first 2 years of Matt Rhule, we will be set to run the NFC South for the next 4 to 5 seasons. And right now, we're going to have to start over because of what Matt Rhule did.
Well, it's unfortunate that Corral got hurt for the whole year. I mean, it's unfortunate because, I would have liked to see how he would do, this year. But it's just
Well,
one of those things.
let's reevaluate that though, because if Matt Corral would not have got hurt, chances are PJ Walker wouldn't be on the roster.
This is
And
true.
if Matt Corral would have not got hurt, we would see Matt Corral out there. But would Matt Corral be an improvement or an improvement?
we won't know.
We don't know. He could have been worse if
He
you
could have
take
been a
it
rookie.
from, he was a
all right
rookie.
with
He would have
the
been a rookie.
I think we need a more dynamic offensive coordinator.
Yeah, but PJ Walker to me, like, he's honestly, like you said, he wouldn't have even been on this team. I mean,
No.
yeah, he's played okay this year, but I mean, nothing like
Nobody
not
wanted
He's
him.
incredible.
To me, PJ Walker's played like, to be honest, he played like
Cooper
Corral.
Rush.
He's played like many other brief highlights in a football season. Kyle Allen, won a few games. Taylor Heineke's won a few games. What, 2 or 3 seasons in a row?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But PJ
right now-
Walker's the only quarterback on this roster that has actually been able to move the offense.
Yeah,
You're right.
We've only seen 2
Well,
quarterbacks.
But at the same time, a lot of that is because the defenses didn't know what to expect from PJ.
And they actually ran the ball.
Well,
And once they start evaluating what he's doing, they catch up with it.
Well, they've got tape on PJ. PJ's played a few games. They've got enough that they could go back and look at him. PJ's still been the only quarterback on this team that's been able to move this offense.
Yeah, you're right, but I'm not ready to say PJ would be a bridge quarterback. I'm just not.
Oh no! I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's going to come down to money as far as a bridge quarterback is concerned.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to go out and overpay for a quarterback that, as we said, is going to be considered a bridge quarterback. You're just not.
Right.
You got too many other things you need to do. You got to re-sign Bradley Bozeman. That is a absolute must. And then do you want to bring back Matt Ioannidis? You got to figure out what you want to do. You got to re-sign Brian Burns. I mean,
Right.
Derrick Brown's going to be – they're going to pick up the fifth-year option on Derrick Brown. I would say you absolutely do not pick up the fifth-year option on C.J. Henderson.
This is why I say
I wouldn't.
don't be surprised you see Sam Darnold or PJ come back next year.
I could see Sam Darnold taking a lot less money and coming back if he plays well. It all depends on how he plays. If he plays poorly, then I don't think he's coming back. PJ, honestly, I think if PJ comes back for the veteran minimum, you can bring him back for training camp and have him there as a practice arm. He may not last through the preseason, but you still are going to have to figure out a veteran bridge to come in and start because they're going to draft a quarterback. And honestly, I'm looking at this Anthony Richardson, and I'm sorry, he's a star in the making.
He's got a lot of good traits.
He's raw, but he's a star in the making. This kid has
the word raw doesn't necessarily, to me, say a lot because it depends on who you are and it depends on who's teaching you. Because they said Cam Newton was too raw to start until he won the national title, and he started making the training camp or preseason the combine and workouts and pro days. Then everybody scratched their heads and said, that's when Panther fans' eyeball went, well, maybe we need him. And
see, I would hope that the Panthers win enough games to get us out of the top 5 because it would save us from ourselves. Because right now, everybody's all psyched up about getting either Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. And I'm sorry, I've watched them both, and I don't see it. I just don't.
Me neither. But
Bryce Young is too damn small. I'm telling you.
Right.
He gets in the thick of the season, and he gets stomped on by one of these defensive ends or defensive tackles. He's going to be out.
Right.
And then you're going to be in the same spot looking at Sam Darnold or whoever the backup quarterback is in there playing because, he's out with a back injury. He's out with a shoulder injury. He's out with a knee injury. He's not big enough. And C.J. Stroud, I don't see it. They've got great wide receivers up at Ohio State, and he's the beneficiary of it. But as far as coming in and being a franchise quarterback, don't see it, guys. Just don't.
No, and
a lot of these guys.
If we let me ask you a question. If we draft pick 6, would you take? Let's say both them quarterbacks off the board.
Mm-hmm.
Would you draft Anthony Richards at pick 6, or would you draft another defensive tackle?
I would try to trade. Put it like this, Pickle. I would try to trade down to probably pick between 8 and 11. If I cannot do that, and you say I have to make a pick, I'm taking Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, me too. There's no way, as much
looking at
as
CJ
good
Stroud,
as he is.
I'm gonna tell you this,
Yeah,
Pickle, and I know only one person on here is probably going to agree with me on this. But looking at the quarterbacks that I've seen between Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and some others, hey, Spencer Rattler got game. I'm telling you, I'd honestly think about taking Spencer Rattler later on in the draft and skipping CJ Stroud and Bryce Young altogether.
I wouldn't take CJ and Bryce Young, period. I wouldn't take CJ and Bryce Young, not in the top 20.
If I missed out on Anthony Richardson, I would find a way to make sure Spencer Rattler was on my roster by the end of the draft.
I mean, Carter is a defensive tackle. Let's be real here. As good as Carter is, tell me the concept of drafting another defensive in the top 10 and telling him he is going to be a backup. And hope, what do? Just not pay Derek Brown? Well, you decide, okay, since we got 2 stud defensive tackles, I guess we'll play 3-4. I mean, because one of them is going to be a backup, and the other is going to be a starter.
And the defensive
ends that
are in the draft aren't really difference makers as far as I would take in the top 10.
There's no Clowney in this draft.
Exactly.
No.
There's no Clowney.
Will Anderson. Will Anderson is a linebacker who plays with his hand in the dirt sometimes. That's all he is. He is less
3-4 outside linebacker.
Yeah, he is. He weighs less than Brian Burns does now. He would have to put on 20 pounds just to get close to what Brian Burns is now. And he's just, I mean, I don't see drafting Will Anderson in the top 15.
If you wait to the second round to try to get a quarterback just because you're going to miss out.
Oh, he just threw a pick.
I honestly think Spencer Rattler is going to come back another year. No, his draft.
Some other names too. So you think he's going to come back? He looks like he's got the size.
And Tony, you just saw that pick that Richardson threw. Watch the receiver. The receiver gave up on the play.
Oh, stop!
Look at him. I'm looking at him right now. The receiver gave up on the play.
I'm talking about Spencer Rattler coming back.
I'm talking about Anthony Richardson, the interception. The receiver.
I brought up one conversation. We started talking about Rattler. No, that I disagree. The receiver didn't give up on that play. It was just a bad throw.
The receiver gave up on it, Tony.
Hey, Pickle, try moving the mic more towards the chin. Then the other is there's some other names out there. The Wake Forest quarterback is really good.
You know what I think? The Arkansas. Like, look at his stats. KJ Jefferson. He has got great stats, and he runs the ball. He's like a beast running it.
Yeah,
probably going to the 5th round.
Who's the guy? The Penix Jr. or something like that, or someone up in Washington, I believe, is playing real well right now. And I gotta. Is the Zappy era over? Is Zappy available? Nobody even remembers Zappy anymore.
No,
he just come online. Come online, baby.
He's
Matt
just
Jones
Zappy.
He likes
Zappy's just the backup.
Oh yeah, that's what I know. Come online, G baby.
He is small. Well, that's the funny thing is that G baby calls Matt Corral like Pee Wee.
Yeah.
But Bryce Young.
Yeah, and Bryce Young's smaller than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could surgically remove Bryce Young's head and put it on like Sam Darnold, you'd be good right there.
Oh yeah. You get Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
You get Joe Burrow. That's awesome.
Yeah, but you can't.
I'm trying to think of what else is when it comes to it. Really going to be interested in this is the plan that is so sad. Like you were talking about, Drew, is the execution. The behind our opportunity to do this was really last year, more so than the year before with Bridgewater. because it was going to take a little bit to get up to the quarterback if you wanted Justin Herbert. He didn't fall to you.
But Justin Fields fell to us. And
right. That's what I'm saying. The next year, you actually had multiple quarterbacks that fell to you. I mean, even if I don't like them, like I don't like Mac Jones, but I was all about the Justin Fields. But I also was about Justin Fields because people told me to be about him. You know, I'm not like overly invested in a lot of these college players because I don't follow. It's just so much for me to follow as college. It's just broad.
Hey, Tony.
Yo.
Can I tell you KJ Jefferson's stat?
Please. 72 touchdowns. Is he there?
That's his stat right there. He ain't got none.
I don't hear it.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Oh,
what's
okay.
that?
It was he had 20 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He had like almost 500 yards rushing with 6 touchdowns. Like he's balling for Arkansas.
And they've actually become like a legitimate name in college football this year because
he's like 6'3", 246 pounds. He's like, so he runs with power.
Okay, we'll have to start watching him. But the reason I was so Justin Fields is not because I really care about any of these quarterbacks and I believe in them exceptionally on their own. It's just I like the idea of planting your flag and saying this is our direction and what we're going to try to do. And I thought that even when we traded for Darnold at first glimpse, it looked like Darnold meant that we weren't getting a quarterback in the draft. And I thought it actually continued to give us the luxury to get a quarterback in the draft to where you bring in Darnold, you let him suffer behind a bad offensive line last year. If he gets hurt, then you can bring in the rookie, or you can just protect the rookie for a year. And you're probably going to need to do that to any one of these quarterbacks if you really believe in them or not.
I think all of them.
Yeah. Like, I mean, would it even be fair to Bryce Young to say, come in here? Just think about how good he could be on this team next year. There's got to be a ceiling on it just because of the change that's coming with the team and the coach.
I think the best day one starter, the last one, was probably Andrew Luck.
Joe Burrow. No?
I mean, yeah, Joe Burrow. Yeah, he got hurt. He got hurt that year.
Herbert. Oh, no, he wasn't a day one.
No.
Day one starters who have been good.
Probably Jared Goff.
I think it was Burrow.
Yeah,
it certainly wasn't Trevor.
Wasn't Burrow hurt his rookie year?
Yeah, he got hurt a couple of games in and tore his ACL.
Okay.
I think maybe it might be Mac Jones.
I mean, yeah, I guess you can count.
Yeah, that's probably true. You can say Mac Jones.
I mean,
he was a day one starter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I stand corrected.
But I wouldn't say that was. I mean, look, they were also having questions about him just 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I mean, they did bench him.
The only reason Mac Jones was a starter day one is because Cam got COVID.
I think they were looking for a reason to cut Cam.
Yeah, but Cam gave him a reason when he got COVID and he was out.
Was he?
They gave Jones all those snaps.
I thought Cam played some games that year.
He played in the preseason.
No, he played preseason. They cut him right
got COVID
the year before. Then
he got COVID right before the Giants, the training camp with the Giants, and Mac Jones went like 30 for 33 in a scrimmage against the Giants, and then that was it.
I think he went off the field for a testing or something to do with off the stadium.
Was
testing.
that his second year with the Patriots?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I know he started some games.
Yeah, he started his first
you guys got a TV on the background. If you can at least just mute if you're not talking, that'd be great. Let's see. So day one starter is problematic. Or it's not the best idea. You're really gonna have to have some patience if you do that, right? Like as not only as a fan base, but you're gonna have to have some patience with the new coaching staff in there. So a bridge quarterback, or at least a guy for a first few weeks, would make some sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
look
Justin
how
Fields
Kansas
is just
City
coming
Chiefs
into
did
himself.
Patrick Mahomes. They said Alex Smith started almost the entire. I think he started the entire season.
Yeah, one whole
Patrick Mahomes' rookie year, and they sporadically got him in. And the next year it was the Patrick Mahomes show, and he's been gone ever since.
They were a playoff team.
Do you know he has not lost a road game in the AFC West since he took over as a starter?
Fucking Nandy Reid.
14-0 in the AFC West on the road.
I will say Patrick Mahomes is probably the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. Just from like throwing the ball.
Really?
But they said he couldn't play in the NFL. They said he came from a spread offense and he couldn't play in the NFL.
Bro,
the types of throws I've seen him throw, like I was just like, what the fuck did he just do?
Yeah, I mean, I like Aaron Rodgers to me still like that guy.
I think people that concentrate too much on what a quarterback does in a certain system that he plays in college in comparison to what he's going to do in the NFL, because he may be, they just there's overwhelmingly proof that just because you run a system in college doesn't mean that you can't run a different system in the pros.
Well, they built that system around Cam. Like, all right, we see what you did well in college. We're going to do it here.
Right.
And, why were they so reluctant to do that with Justin Fields?
Bad.
I think it was the coaches. Coaches just didn't want to.
Bad coach.
I mean, I do understand this. Is like I understand that you need to have in your mind a sense of protecting an investment, and we had this conversation with Christian McCaffrey for the last 3 years. But at some point, the reason you got that that you bought that car was to take it out on the highway and open her up every now and then. You know what I'm saying? So like,
that was
what's
the
point of
Cam
having
discussion.
a Lambo and just keeping it in the garage? But I don't know if that discussion was really real for Cam for a while.
But they tried to. Remember?
What year was it? Would it be? Because I
was...
don't remember anything before the 2016 season where we were like,
because remember
Cam.
He came out and was like, yo, you got to let me be me. Because I think they were trying to protect him from himself. He's like, yo, I just got to do what I do best.
I thought they should have.
They wanted Cam to be more of a pocket passer.
I thought they should have adjusted. I thought they should have adjusted in the Super Bowl. I thought they should have, when the Panthers went to the Super Bowl, I don't know why he didn't run the ball a little bit more. Like I thought,
especially when Jonathan Stewart went out.
That's a good question. That's a good point.
I thought they
shout out to Cody Lackey, who's in the chat and says Spencer Rattler fucking sucks.
You know what? He's not balls enough to come on this program right now, so I'm willing to acknowledge him.
I know he's hiding behind his mama and her birthday cake right now.
Yeah, that mysteriously happens after Thanksgiving.
Thank Cody for always taking care of this Friday free for all. He does a lot for this show. Love him. Happy Thanksgiving and happy birthday to his mom. And I always feel like I mispronounce her name. I think it's Rhea. R-H.
Well, happy birthday to Cody's mom for sure.
Yes, happy birthday.
The Danielle.
Cody's mama, because it's got to be rough putting up with his mouth like that for her whole life. I mean, can you imagine being Cody's mama or daddy? You'd kind of lock him in his room and forget where the key was.
I am his daddy.
Yeah.
Cody gets one of these things where he gets to say what he wants, and he gets like the life card that gets you to do that. Danielle asked, who do you see us drafting? Because I don't want to reach for a quarterback. So in the event the Panthers find themselves trading back, you could have and like trading back or even kind of punting on a quarterback situation to maybe a Richardson, to a Rattler, to a Penix Jr., to a KC, whatever the dude, awesome stat guy was, Arkansas man. KJ Jefferson. Let's do it two ways. Right, as I know everybody likes to name a player they love because everybody's saying this guy from Alabama. What about this? What if we just started, if you could fill one position other than quarterback in the first round, what would that position be and why?
If I couldn't draft a quarterback, if I had to draft, either way, I think we're going to draft in the top 5. Either way, I think you're going to, in my opinion, and like I said, the pro days and the combine, all this and the playoffs, the college playoffs, will do a lot to who's really up and who's really down. You know.
Oh shit!
But I would actually think a defensive end or maybe a. Hopefully you trade back, but if you can't, honestly I would look at linebacker, inside linebacker, or maybe a true defensive end. So.
That's a quarterback.
That
is a quarterback right there, fellas. 43-yard touchdown on a rope.
Oh,
that's a quarterback. Now just put him in a Carolina Panthers uniform.
Hit him in stride and went through his progressions too. That was not his first read.
Left, right. Boom.
So you said Pickle said linebacker, defensive end.
Ain't it funny that like our offense is trash, but like if we're not picking a quarterback, we're going defense.
It is. That's awesome.
I agree with it.
I mean, I mean, listen, I would love to go tight end, but and as much as people want to brag, what's that? I don't remember his name. Michael Myers. Yeah, I know he's good. I don't watch enough college football to know this. Is the guy worth a top 5 pick?
No,
not for a tight
end. Is worth a top 5 pick.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, exactly.
They call him Baby Gronk.
But what I think is going to happen, I think no matter what the coaches or the GM say, I think a guy that calls himself the owners is going to say, no, you're drafting a quarterback. I've been waiting to draft a quarterback in the first round since I became owner. I'm tired of waiting. We're going quarterback, regardless of what you like.
And I think that's and then when they talked about it going quarterback, they ended up missing out on Justin Fields.
Exactly, and not just Justin Fields. He want Marty Herney had him talked into trading up and getting Justin Herbert, and Matt Rhule talked him clear out of it. So then Justin Fields comes along. Exactly. So if you're David Tepper, you're like, no, we're not going this route no more. So
all right, guys, hold on one second. Thank God you don't have to worry about him taking your lunch right now because he's mealing on some chicken wings.
Oh, there he is. What's up?
What's up, G baby?
What's up?
What's good with my boys?
What's up, G
What's up, bro?
Whatever.
Man, let me take a sip, man. I got a lot to fucking say, man.
Did you see that Anthony Richardson touchdown?
Here, he gonna prate about his buddy, Bryce Young. Now, tell everybody what you think, bro.
The first thing we need to do is fire Scott Fitterer.
I've said that before myself.
Okay, man, I'm gonna fight you on that.
Scott Fitterer's got to go. Because when I look at Seattle right now, and I see these guys hitting on every fucking draft pick, it makes me think, damn, was he just behind the scenes not doing shit, or is he just a yes man? Like, what was he doing over there, man? Because Seattle's still hitting those picks, and Scott Fitterer is fucking up our picks, man. I want to go with Brian Burns. What does Brian Burns do for this team?
He gets pressure on the quarterback.
He calls it a distraction.
Yeah.
What does Brian Burns do for this team?
Pressure. He's 8th
9 sacks.
Brian Burns in the top 10 in sacks this year.
Give me a breakout Brian Burns game this year.
Can't.
He's not had a breakout game.
He's more just he's there every week making it consistent. Yes, I wouldn't say like
Brian Burns was never drafted to be a Julius Peppers. He was never drafted.
Brian Burns is a first round draft pick.
So
Brian Burns is a first round
draft pick. There's a lot of first round draft picks that are just average. There's a lot of first round draft picks that are average. There's more first round average players than there are first round successes.
I mean, well, no, you're right, Pickle, is this, but that's not. I think the point is this: is that on one hand, what G Baby is trying to get us to say here is that
you don't take over.
Brian Burns is not exceptional.
No.
And he's saying, what does he do? And our answer is he's consistent.
I say
right? So I say that to say this. I say that to say this. I thought we was building for the future.
How long?
I thought we was rebuilding.
For how
so
long?
With that being said, why the fuck would we not trade him if we're gonna get? I don't give a fuck if they're future first round draft picks.
He's 24.
Hold on, wait a minute, G Baby. Who said we were rebuilding?
We are rebuilding, Drew. Who are we, bro?
Yeah, I mean,
what's our record, G?
We don't have.
Bro, we don't have shit, bro. No, man. Y'all put so much time. You guys praise these players like they're fucking all Americans, dog. I understand they're Carolina Panthers, but god damn, bro.
Well, I think we're quibbling over two terms, and that is the whether building or rebuilding. I don't know if we're rebuilding, but as much as just building. Like
Tony, we ain't going to the playoffs.
I know, I agree. Now, but here, give some context to your comment, because I think people now were asking, you were saying this is, it's not just about Brian Burns, but it was why we didn't take the trade for Brian Burns is what you're
yeah, we're building for the future, boys.
Nobody's.
We're building for the Drew, we ain't doing shit, G. We ain't doing shit this year.
Brian Burns is 24, like.
Brian Burns ain't shit, bro. Come on, dog. Brian Burns ain't no Charles Johnson.
I think he has the same
Charles
stats
Johnson wasn't worth the money we gave him. We gave him.
Bro, Charles Johnson can stop the run, bro. Brian Burns is light in the ass, G. Listen, check this out, Drew. Check this out, Drew. Steve Wilkes is a 4-3 defensive coordinator. Okay, I want Steve Wilkes back, but not as a head coach. Not as a head coach. I'll bring him back as the defensive head coordinator. He's going to run a 4-3. Brian Burns is a 3-4 defensive lineman. So why the fuck is he here? Why not get the ammunition, dog?
All right, we're gonna look. Both there's two sides to this story. One is why we didn't take potentially the windfall of future gains for a player that you're gonna have to pay.
They're just too far late, I think, in the future. Most picks.
Yeah. I mean, I think we know why we know the factors, but that's the two kind of questions are this is like you move on from Burns because you could get assets for rebuilding or building into the future. And the other hand, we've talked ad nauseum on this show about how you have to have some parts to build. Is that you don't want to make it so you have nothing to field a team.
We didn't even get a first-round draft pick for Christian McCaffrey. I mean, goddamn, at least they're two future first. At least the second round was this year. The second round pick was this year, Drew.
Hold on.
We got a second round pick for Christian McCaffrey this year.
Hold on, wait. I'm going to agree with you on something.
But Christian McCaffrey wasn't worth a first-round pick.
I'm going to agree with G-Baby on
I would say he will.
Now, G-Baby said 2 first-round picks. And I'm going to tell you, G-Baby, if Philadelphia had a called up Scott Fitterer and said, look, we'll give you our 2 first-round picks this year for Brian Burns, then I 100% agree with you, G-Baby. You take those picks and you run with them. You drive Brian Burns up to Philadelphia at that point. The 2 picks you're talking about are too far in the future.
They're 2023 and 2024.
2024 and 2025, my brother.
Okay, all right. Even if that's the case, we're looking at the man.
If
come on, bro.
Philadelphia calls with those 2 first-round picks this year, then you are exactly 110% right. You take it, and you tip Brian Burns off.
A month ago, I was saying trade everyone, right?
Right.
About a month ago, right? How come last week I gotta hear you guys ask, is JC Horn injury prone? We've been knowing that. That's why I wanted to get rid of JC fucking Horn, dog.
You wanted to keep Dante Jackson, who's out right now.
Hey, rest up, Dante. Hey, rest up, Dante. Hey, you know what? Is Dante Jackson injury prone as of right now?
Yes.
He might be. Yes.
He was injury prone last year. He was injury prone before they signed him.
Stephon Gilmore.
They shouldn't have never re-signed him.
Not Dante Jackson.
Okay, but I don't even think we're worried about Horn's injuries right now, are we? I mean, we might be always in the back.
Not
really.
Get through it, but I think he's fine this year.
And it's just like in the later season, they're always going to be like probable, but they end up starting.
Yeah, I don't agree with the JC Horn one. So we got Burns. We'll move on to that one.
What does JC Horn do? Miss tackles all the fucking time. At least Dante fucking comes and makes fucking tackles, dog. I'm sick of this JC Horn shit. What the fuck does he do? Give me a JC Horn game, bro. What the fuck does he do?
Hold up, G-Baby. JC Horn missed one tackle. One.
Come on, bro. I always see JC Horn getting outran by fucking running backs to the outside, dog.
Oh,
I see it all the time.
The line.
That's where he lines up.
Y'all make this motherfucker to be out to be some fucking Hall of Famer, bro, and he ain't even Richard Marshall, bro.
How come you make every single Panther player suck? How come G-Baby to you every Panther player sucks?
Hey, everyone
and the
on
only
defense
player worth drafting is the player you.
Jeremy Chin is the best player we have on this entire team, bro. And his absence let me know that, bro. When Jeremy Chin came back, shit, got back together. But when he was gone, we couldn't stop the run. We were ass, bro. Jeremy Chin's the only
guess what? Jeremy Chin couldn't cover a tight end to save his left nut. Maybe he's overrated too.
Look, this is all right. Hold on, I'm taking over. First, this is what happens when things go bad in I won't say a society. I don't mean like this is a societal problem, but like in the society of the Panthers losing season. Like
my God,
this is called
holy
when you're
Florida quarterback
devour your own. So right now, Pickles turning on Jeremy Chin just because he's trying to make this point. G-Baby saying this stuff, but the original point was this: Scott Fitterer. So, all right. So we've talked about Brian Burns. You've talked about, first, I don't think JC Horn should be. If anything, you know what is the real thing on the JC Horn stuff is that he just wasn't Justin Fields that year. Like it's not JC Horn's fault. It's like,
oh my goodness.
Are you
exactly.
Just seeing this fight? Look, everybody is having the same reaction to this Florida State.
That quarterback run, dude, is nuts.
Are they going to call him down, or are they going to call that a touchdown?
That's a
touchdown.
He slid before the end zone.
But G-Baby, I'll tell you this. I agree with you. I said it 2 months that longer than that. I said the year, if Rhule is fired, Scott Fitterer ought to be fired too.
Scott Fitterer's got to go, bro.
Why are you guys?
That's my opinion too.
Scott Fitterer don't do shit, Drew.
Because he signed the paper.
Hold on.
To me.
Let me ask G-Baby. Let me hear G-Baby's comment on this. G-Baby, so what is Scott Fitterer fucked up on? Please tell me. I want to know.
Everything on every pick. He gave. What does Ian Thomas do on this fucking squad? And he gives him a bag.
G-Baby. You talking about you blaming a man who did not have final say on players. The only thing he was there to do was pick the players. Matt Rhule made those picks.
Come on, man.
So
what did Scott do? What did Scott do?
He was there Matt Rhule said, this is what I want. It was up to Scott Fitterer to make it happen. He was pretty much a bellboy.
Man, Scott Fitterer don't do a goddamn thing for this fucking team, bruh.
All right, well, how about
not had the opportunity.
Two categories. What are the positive things that have happened under the purview of Scott Fitterer? What are the positives? All right, okay. So offensive line's improved.
Yeah.
What else?
Dramatically. I think defense has.
I don't know about that even.
Well, the defense has gotten better, Tony. I mean, it's not great, but it has gotten better.
Because of so not because of him directly, but do you think the draft contributed to that? Do you think
when did he come in?
In my opinion, Derek Brown has gotten better, and that's why the defense looks tolerable.
So
that's the truth to me.
And shout out to PNP because they were the ones that kept telling us that we needed to wait to the third year for Derek Brown because Derek Brown. A lot of us wanted Derek Brown Derek Brown was that shit. And then the light came on year 3, and he started dominating.
I said
never
after year
shut up.
2, he wasn't looking like a first-round pick worthy, but he's definitely turned.
Bro, I still want Derek Brown gone. You're tripping.
Okay.
What?
All right.
He's had a few good games, bro. Come on, dog.
Oh, come on.
Fingerprints.
Derek
What,
Brown
three
is
or four
dominated all
games
season.
this year? What the fuck else has Derek Brown done?
Dude, have
Dominated.
you been watching Derek Brown at
Bro,
all?
I watch every game, bro. Yeah,
Obviously
he's been
not.
killing it as of lately, but what else has he done, bro?
He's
Well, he can only
dominated.
do
Y'all
what
was
he can
fucking
do.
trying to get this motherfucker out of Carolina last year, dog. Like, come on,
And
stop
no,
with that
what did I
bullshit, man.
just say, G baby? I said
And
we
he
were
played
wrong. We were wrong on that.
All right, we're
I thought I
trying
was
to
wrong.
find. G Baby came in here firing shots at Scott Fitterer. That was the opening salvo for G Baby. So we're trying to find out if he's right. Should Scott Fitterer go, or should he be retained? And we're trying right now.
New GM, new head coach, new QB. That's how you fucking do it, bro.
I agree with that.
Let's do it right for once.
What are
Fuck.
the fingerprints? What are any positive fingerprints that he's done? We said the offensive line. So you go Bozeman, the addition of Bozeman, Corbett,
Yeah.
and
Cam
Icky.
Irving, Pat F-line.
Icky.
Okay. All right. So wait, we're going to get to the negative fingerprints. We're just trying to find any positive fingerprints from Scott Fitterer. So offensive line, who are the defensive? What has he done on the defense? Not so that Derek Brown, his fingerprints aren't on Derek Brown.
High-nitis.
Okay. All right.
Dude's a fucking bum.
All right. No, it's just like but you're
Who's
going
good?
to have players that are
Everybody,
just pretty
G
good.
baby,
God,
who's
man.
that on this team?
What
He's
about-
out, bro.
what
He's
about-
out already.
What
He's
about
all
the
right.
best player on the team? What about Johnny Hecker?
Who's
There you
not?
go.
Hold on, I want to know from G baby.
Okay.
Who's not a?
I like Johnny Hecker, man. I like
He's the
that.
best player on our team right now.
Yeah, I
You
like
said Jeremy Chin and Johnny Hecker, so that's everybody else is a bum other than
Hey,
Jeremy Chin and Johnny Hecker.
I like DJ.
Hey, DJ's
Moore.
having a bad season, so in your words, he should be a bum.
DJ Moore is not having a bad season.
What about
DJ Moore is not having a bad season.
DJ Moore is not going to crack 1,000 yards this season.
Where's DJ at right now?
What? He's got like 400
500.
yards,
How many yards is he at?
like 400 or 500. He's
Yeah,
not
it's
cracking
not much.
1,000.
I don't think he's
Hey, that's my
This is the
motherfucking
first
dog.
player
He
in
just need a
3
QB.
years He's not cracked 1,000 yards.
What about the Viscous? No,
No, I don't like that dude.
I think he's not being used enough.
I agree. I think that he should
No,
be.
I
starting
agree with
over
that. He's
Scott.
not being used enough. He should be the.
I
third
agree.
wide
They
receiver.
should use him before they use Shi Smith.
Yep.
Shi Smith should be cut.
Tim Estes says Terrace Marshall Jr. I am going to try to say this is so that's like I'm trying to find. There's got to be one or two, maybe more. I can't think of that are going to come to me in a second because
I like Deontay Foreman. He's a Texas
Well,
alumni, and,
Wilkes. What
and that's
about
my
Wilkes?
squad.
The
So
safety
Deontay
Wilkes.
Foreman's nice. But hold on, man. I need to address something with CK. Let me look at the motherfucking camera, CK.
He's not here.
No, you won't hear this shit because you said some ignorant, dumbass shit, bruh. CK, bruh. You said Christian McCaffrey would not even be a third-round pick without his receiving aspect of his game. So you're trying to tell me Christian McCaffrey, without the receiving yards, wouldn't even be a third-round pick, and then you wanted to go off and say he's a Deontay Foreman.
I agree to that.
What the fuck were you, bro, CK? Ice the fuck up, bruh.
I know
I didn't like
they
that
went-
shit.
yeah, all of them went wild with that Deontay Foreman thing.
And
I
mean,
okay,
and Fitterer
so-
got a whole draft. Fitterer got a whole draft for C-Mac. I mean, that was a pretty good trade, I thought. He got a whole
Okay.
draft.
Yep.
for
A
that.
2, a 3, a 4, and a 5th next year.
All right. Now I think there's what
I
did
still
you
think we
say?
coulda got more.
What did you say, Kev? Was the positive one other you were trying to slip in there? Positive fingerprints from Fitterer. Thought you said somebody's
Woods,
name.
the safety. I think he's been playing pretty good.
Okay.
Woods.
So
the safety.
his
I think
so all
he's
right.
been all
and
right.
That guy's terrible.
Is has
think he's
his
been all
free
right.
agent acquisitions been good or bad? And I would say maybe just mid. He's had some bad ones. You can point to Eflin and Irving, and then you can point to probably one other guy that we signed that we didn't like.
Luvu. What about Luvu?
Ooh.
He
I
brought
would.
them-
I
brought them
want to
in.
see Scott Fitterer with an offseason without Matt Rhule telling him this is what I want.
But what about the negative fingerprints? Because I think G Baby has, and I think one is just holistically in the rebuild that G Baby's talking about.
Sam Darnold. Didn't he go get Sam?
I think Matt Rhule
wanted Sam Darnold.
Oh my God, bro.
G-Baby, Rhule was the one that talked to David Tepper to not draft Justin Fields. David Tepper wanted to draft Justin Fields. Matt Rhule told him, no, we'll go get Sam Darnold and we'll draft J.C. Horn and we'll get two for the price of one.
And the only reason why they went to Sam Darnold is because Sam Darnold was last on the list. You see, they turned around and agreed to a trade for the Lions with Matthew Stafford. But before they could go back to the office, and actually it was during the combine, before they could go back to the office and get it finalized, word leaked to Stafford, and he pulled the plug and said, he ain't going there. So he called his buddy at the Rams, who he had met that offseason, and the Rams head coach called the Lions up, offered him a better trade, and he went there instead. By this time, Teddy Bridgewater already heard about it, and he said, "Fuck you guys, get me out of here." Then they were left with one option to trade for a quarterback. That happened to be Sam Darnold. So the Jets had all the pockets, so they said, "You want him? We're going to raise the price," and they paid it.
They could have just stuck with Teddy, but I guess they
could have. He was still under contract, but he could. I mean, they could have. He would have been pissed off, but they could have. They should have stuck with Teddy, then turned around and drafted Justin Fields, and
which is what
the rest would have been history.
To do in the first place.
Who made the decision to get who made the decision for the 5th-year option though? He didn't even play. And
no, you're right, but he couldn't. You couldn't. The regular rule sets when you're drafted in April, June the 1st, you got to turn that card in. You got to say 5th-year option then, or you don't get one. My personal opinion is Scott Fitterer said no 5th-year option, period, and accepted what happened.
That's the mistake.
But you're right. Listen, I said it at the beginning of this year. Look on a Friday free-for-all. I said at the beginning of this year that if Matt Rhule's fired, if Matt Rhule's fired, Scott Fitterer should join him. I said that at the beginning of this offseason. That's a fact. Go back and look it up.
You guys can't use Sam Darnold as a positive for Fitterer, at least. You know, I'm like, you can excuse him in all these different ways, but he's still, if he had the guts to say this is dumb, like he hasn't necessarily stood up to Rhule or anything.
No, exactly.
What was he going to say? Rhule had final say. No matter what Scott Fitterer said, whether he liked it or not, Rhule had final say.
Respectfully, I would say I've worked with people in a structure, and I think that there's a way to send an email to someone that isn't aggressive, but says, "I just simply don't think this is the right decision." Like you can say,
says, "You know what? It's my decision. That's who I want."
One thing about the Matt Stafford, this might have been the most fortuitous thing for every party involved for it to work out the way it did. They go and win a Super Bowl. They pay him a ton of money. If he would have come, and now he's hurt. Like, if he would have come here,
he would have been destroyed.
It's been us spending a quarterback, a trade pick, and we'd probably be right here saying we're going to draft a quarterback now.
And he would have been destroyed. You know what our price? Y'all remember what Scott Fitterer's price to give up for Matthew Stafford was going to be?
Our first-round pick, the 8th pick in the draft.
2 first-round picks for a beat-up quarterback.
I think it was just one. I think it was the 8th.
Now,
he would have been destroyed.
That's bullshit. Y'all would be so mad.
I know. I would.
Y'all would be so mad, but that's your boy, though, right?
Who?
Scott Fitterer.
Oh.
Man, fuck that dude, man.
Okay,
no, you're right with that, G baby. I think you got to just restart the whole thing. You got to start it like they did it backwards, like you said. They got.
It's like
but Scott.
It's like, damn, bro, the motherfucker keeps on cheating on you, bro. Don't you want someone new that's gonna treat you nicely?
But let's be real here. It's not really Scott Fitterer. David Tepper got up and told everybody it was on him. He was the one that gave Matt Rhule all that power. Because at his presser when they fired Rhule, he was asked, "Do you think the balance of power should be divided or?" And he said, "I think the GM should have as much control over the roster as the head coach.
The GM should hire the coach
Because that's what he said. And when they asked him about hiring the next head coach, he said, "I'll do that, but I'll listen to what Scott has to say."
Forever on the podcast on Tuesday night.
I mean, you're right. It's just old news.
It was wild because he had Hurney help him hire this guy. Like it was. So G-Baby brings that reset point is like a great theoretical position to have. The other thing I think is to just continue a little bit on what Fitterer, some of the weaknesses that he's had, as I think I would say is backbone. Like he didn't have enough backbone in that room would be my criticism, is that even if you guys are right about the final say, he's still culpable for a lot of this. The other thing is that when Fitterer came in and all the Fitterer, he's a genius crowd started to emerge, it was in that first draft after, you remember the Matt Rhule draft with Hurney, they drafted all the defensive players. And then the next draft, Fitterer just joined right before the draft. So he was kind of being thrown in there and they moved around a lot and we got a lot of picks. So we acquired these assets and it goes, oh, he knows how to get good players in this. So you're thinking that's a positive. And then throughout that season, you traded away all of those picks for terrible moves. Dan, you know what I'm saying? So not only did you lose those picks, but what you traded them for didn't work. And that being, we got rid of Dan Arnold in a pick for C.J. Henderson. We got rid of picks for Stephon Diggs. There's some other things, and he kind of lost those.
You mean Stephon Gilmore?
Yes, thank you.
But didn't we get a higher pick because of our pick pack or something like that?
I think that was dependent on if other people walked too, but maybe. But what I'm saying is, what we thought was a real asset of Scott Fitterer was acquiring assets. And at the same time, we don't have a ton of assets right now until that Christian McCaffrey deal. So I don't know if he's like how to grade him on that part of his strength. But that's it. That's my point. Yeah. And so, all right. Is there enough evidence or not to keep Christian McCaffrey? Scott Fitterer. G-Baby, a resounding no.
Hell fucking no.
I think you keep him for 1 year.
No way we keep Scott, bro.
Okay.
Man.
Drew, man. You want to keep him, right?
And another thing. Can we stop with the I'm a Carr fan. I'm a Derek Carr fan, man. But we got to stop with the Carr shit, the Jimmy G shit, the Gardner Minshew shit.
Now, I agree with G-Baby on that.
Like, fuck, man. We've been doing that. That's insanity. It's the same shit, boys. Like, damn.
Yep. I agree with you 110% on that.
Like that shit, that shit is gotta be gone, bro. I don't even want to think about getting someone. No, bro.
You're gonna start Young week 1?
Then you're gonna have to start Bryce Young week 1.
Like I don't. Hey, I thought we had this All-American fucking offensive line. I thought we had this top 5 offensive fucking line, man.
Still not want to start rookie week 1
because they ain't a quarterback in this draft ready to start day 1.
I'm gonna give you my top 5
quarterback in this draft.
I'm gonna give you my top 5
day 1.
I watch college football more than I watch the NFL, bro. These are my top 5 QBs. I got Bryce Young. I got C.J. Stroud. I got Spencer Rattler. I got KJ Jefferson as my 4th, and then I have AR-15, Anthony Richardson as my 5th QB. I like AR, but he ain't ready, bro. He misses the easiest passes, man. The handoffs, the ones that we've been bitching about for a whole decade, even with Cam Newton, bro. He can't hit those, bro. Anthony Richardson, I don't even see Anthony Richardson as a day 1 QB. I don't.
Coming out. I don't think Rattler's going to come out. I think he's going to go another year in college.
But I do like Anthony Richardson. He can ball, but nah, bro. Not no top 10 QB.
He got the traits. He just needs to be more consistent.
He's too inconsistent. But I would have thrown Hendon Hooker in there. I would have thrown him in there until he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
He's 25 with a torn ACL now. Is that what you guys really want?
I did say that.
That offense they run is ridiculous too, like the fast-paced, no huddle shit. Like,
yeah. I mean, and I'm a Hendon Hooker fan, Pickle. I fuck with him heavy, G.
Are those quarterbacks ready to come in day one and know a pro system, be able to play like a pro, good times and bad, and carry 30-some-year-old players?
Yeah, I believe there's 3 QBs, and it's the first 3. I believe Bryce Young, I believe C.J. Stroud, and I believe Spencer Rattler. Bro, Spencer Rattler, that motherfucker can ball, man.
G-Baby, who would you hire as a head coach? Who would you want as the head coach?
All right, I'm going to give you my top 5 candidates, and a lot of motherfuckers probably ain't going to like this, but this is who I would like. And this Ken Dorsey shit's got to go, man. He fucked up my nigga Cam, G. Why would you even want that bum back here in Carolina? Y'all are tripping. So
hey,
my top five head coaches, I would not mind seeing Jim Harbaugh here from fucking Michigan, but I don't think David Tepper is gonna go the college route again. I don't think he's gonna do that.
I hope not.
I don't think he's gonna do it, man. I
would never hire another college coach.
I will say this:
if I was the owner, I would never do that ever.
As the resident South Carolina fan, I will say this: they were complaining about the play calling after the Florida game where they got blown out. They had another person call the plays, and that's why things look a lot better against Tennessee.
Who are you talking about?
The play calling for South Carolina, yeah. They changed play callers after the Florida game when they played Tennessee.
Okay.
All right, another head coach I like the dude from Baltimore, man. Is it Bill Roman?
Greg Roman.
Greg Roman, man. I like that motherfucker. I ain't gonna front, but I believe he's a package deal with Lamar Jackson. But I believe if he could get the right QB, Greg Roman. Is it Greg Roman, Tony?
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Greg Roman here in fucking Carolina, man.
All right, who's number 3? I see he's just catering to me because I like.
No, I like Greg. I like Greg Roman, man.
What about Detroit play caller?
Deuce Staley.
Who's the play caller for Detroit?
Deuce Staley.
I think he's the assistant coach. I don't know if he calls the plays though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Does he?
He's the offensive coordinator. That's how it was listed on Hard Knocks.
They have him as the
running back for Philadelphia.
I'll take him in a heartbeat.
Deuce Staley is up there. He's interesting because he's going to need to. He's black, so he's going to need to get some interviews.
He played for South Carolina.
Did he? Okay,
yeah.
You put together a great offense right now on the Lions, where which is like the most Herculean task for anyone. That should merit some excitement just as much as a Bieniemy's name would. All right, so you left off with who? Who was the third one? G baby.
I like EB, man. I'm an EB fan, bro.
Bieniemy's never getting his head coaching job.
I don't think he is either, but I'm a fan.
Tell Cody to get out the chat room again in this conversation.
I know
we could hire Eric Bieniemy as offensive coordinator.
His
contract with Kansas City's up.
I like the dude from San Francisco, man. D'Amico Ryans, man.
He's Tampa Bay, right?
No, he's San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
He used to play linebacker for the Texans and San Francisco.
Do you want a defensive-minded head coach, though?
I wouldn't mind Brian Leftwich.
He might be the next.
That's one I wouldn't mind.
Next head coach of the
no
Texans.
Dallas coordinators.
Yeah, hell no. No Kellen Moore, fuck no.
Right.
And this is why I'm scared if Fitterer stays. He's gonna want to bring fucking Dan Quinn to Carolina, bro.
He will. Dan Quinn.
And
then as soon as he brings Dan Quinn here, you know who's going to be the quarterback? He'll go sign Cooper Rush, 28-year-old Cooper Rush, to a 5-year contract.
That's not his quarterback.
You're just making stuff up right now.
You're right. I don't deny that.
Is that One, I do think this. If Dan Quinn comes here, I'm gonna be mad as fire, bro.
You stick with Steve
bro.
Wilkes.
I won't like it either. Trust me.
Huh?
You stick with Steve Wilkes if you're gonna bring in Dan Quinn.
Right. Definitely. I feel that. But I like all the names that you put out so far.
Oh, and I forgot Bill O'Brien, man, because of Bryce Young, man. If Bill O'Brien coming, that means Bryce Young's coming. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, Cody's been preaching that for a month, brother. He's been doing that for a month.
Bryce Young's the Stephen Curry of fucking football, and y'all are out of your motherfucking mind. If we got a top 2 pick, we are taking the Steph Curry of fucking football, bro.
Top 2 pick, G, baby.
Yes, we are, bro. Who we gonna beat?
Mark my words, we ain't getting the top 2 pick.
Be there. No, I don't think I think Houston's gonna
I think the Texans are going to take Bryce Young.
Thank goodness.
Hey, if we don't get Bryce Young, then I am honestly okay with the bro. I got Atlanta Falcon fans at my job that are fucking clamoring for fucking CJ Stroud because they think he's gonna be a fucking Hall of Famer, bro. They don't even want fucking Desmond Ridder, bro.
Let them have.
And these are hardcore Falcon fans, bro. CJ Stroud, y'all are tripping.
The Falcons fans been screaming for years, and it ain't never got them nothing. I have a Falcon fan where I work at, and the other day they told me to page him the other side of the building. Right, he had the trailer to unload, and I shit you not, I looked at the trailer and I did. I paged him. I said, I called his name. I come to the back. You have trailer to unload. The trailer number is 28-3. That's a fact. That's a fact. It was 28-3. He rode around the corner on that fork. What went?
You guys, Bryce Young's a can't miss. I can't believe you guys.
Bryce Young is a miss.
Do you have any concern?
No.
Listen, dude. Bryce Young, to me, the only thing.
He plays in the SEC. He don't get hurt. He had one injury, bro. He's out for a couple
too
weeks,
skinny
man.
and too short. He's still.
Nah, bro.
Hey,
Pickle. He's about to be 22 years of age.
Okay.
Hey, who says he can't put on 10 pounds before he enters the league, dog? You don't think he can put on some weight?
Draft down unless it says he can't. Says his body frame won't handle it correctly.
Quarterbacks in the top 5 the last 10 years. Tell me how many. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance.
Who said those guys were going to be can't misses? Cody Lack? See, Cody Lack's the one that got y'all fucking chirping in the fucking ear, bro.
Let me finish. I'm going down the last 10 years of quarterbacks picking in the top 5. Tua Tagovailoa, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Mitchell Trubisky, Jared Goff,
shout out
Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, and Blake Bortles. You know who you don't hear on this list? Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Josh Allen. Just because you pick in the top 2 and grab a quarterback don't mean jack.
Okay, yeah, that's if you're not talking about a generational type fucking talent. I'm talking generational type talent, man.
Nobody thought Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes were going to be generational talents.
Shout out to C-Dog in the chat who said Matt Corral was better than Bryce Young.
Man, shout out to my nigga C-Dog.
Drew, can I push back on that just a hair?
Sure.
Well, first, if you expanded it to the top 6, you would get Herbert in there. And you go back, and then you could also have Cam and Luck if you go back farther.
Okay, but we're going back the last 10 years, and we're going top 5 because.
But Drew, a lot of those teams reach those.
G-Baby is saying, wait a minute. If we're going by what G-Baby is saying, we're going to be picking in the top 5.
Okay.
We're going to pick top 5, top 3, motherfucker. What do you mean top 3?
Every name I listed off would be one of those quarterbacks in the top 3.
Here's the pushback, though.
No, bro.
My pushback on this issue is, what if you just would have picked Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes in the top 5? Would that list still hold the same? And would they ultimately, are you believing that all of them would trend towards bust more because they were picked? You know what I'm saying? Is it maybe they just made the wrong top 5 pick at quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you not to put
all of those other guys
Bortles
had deficiencies that everybody else slid them down the board because they weren't either generational talent or their game wouldn't translate to the NFL or they weren't quite ready. The same things people are saying about AR-15, Spencer Rattler, and all those guys. They all got these deficiencies. They're not ready for the NFL. But Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, they're can't-miss prospects. Baker Mayfield was a can't-miss prospect. Sam Darnold was a can't-miss prospect.
Okay, but hold on. When you talk about CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, you're not talking about them you're talking about Bryce Young and his fucking height and his weight. I don't hear you guys talking about his fucking play, his ability to read the motherfucking defense before he fucking throws the ball. You guys have yet to say anything bad about fucking Bryce Young's plan. All he does is fucking win. So give me something bad about Bryce Young that doesn't have to deal with his fucking height and his weight, bro. All weight.
Oklahoma was win.
Who?
I ain't got nothing to say bad about anything else.
He won
in the Big 12, Drew, when Texas was ass.
He won the Heisman Trophy, didn't he?
Behind Lincoln Riley in the Big 12. They don't play defense in the Big 12, G.
But but nobody came. Look, Baker Mayfield, when he entered the draft, that top 5.
That was a shockwave. He shouldn't even win one.
Right. That is exactly
Same
right.
with Trubisky. You want to bring Trubisky up? That was a motherfucking reach, my G.
Nobody like that pick.
Same with Daniel Jones, bro.
Yes.
Well, Daniel Jones.
That's what I think it is.
Like, so I don't want to hear. You can't. I see what you're doing, Drew. Come on, G. I peep that.
I'm just
saying.
I
want to see this list, Drew. I want to see the list of the quarterbacks taken in each round for the last 10 years, which I know they do that, a list of, but which ones at that moment walking in were actually forecasted as can't misses? Because I'm trying to remember the ones that people told me Trevor Lawrence was a can't miss.
Yep.
Cody wanted to trade our whole draft for that bum.
Joe Burrow was a can't miss, which that actually turned out to be true.
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck's been a can't miss, but that's like going farther back.
Last Mike.
I don't even think anybody in that Baker Mayfield draft was believed a can't miss.
Okay.
I remember they said Sam Darnold.
Tony, I got it up here. Which year you want?
Okay, let's start with let's go most recent and we'll go backwards.
All right. So 2022, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder,
he was
Malik Willis.
All right. Okay, right there. We can stop right there. Nobody is a can't miss. All right. So next draft.
Okay. Next draft, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Kyle Trask.
All right, so we'll stop with the top 5 picks though. Or actually, no. Actually, none of those are can't miss.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
You get one. Trevor Lawrence. Other than that, everybody has some sort of
worry.
Yeah. Next.
All right. The 2020 draft, Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts, Jacob Eason. These last guys, nobody's going to know who the heck they are.
No, we can stop there.
Joe Burrow.
On that list is a Joe Burrow. And if you want to be loose, what if we just said if we knew like Herbert, you could say he's a can't miss in retrospect.
No, you can't be retrospect though. Okay, it has to be can't miss right then and there. And like Tua went before him.
Yeah,
but Tua had a hip injury coming out and
questions on him
and different things. I'm just trying to figure out if we would have evaluated Herbert more. Could we have classified him even closer to a can't miss? He's less project than anybody said he was going to be. So I'll be generous and say maybe there's.
Well, at least Hardy wanted to jump up into the top 4 to get him.
All right, let's also remember.
Whoa, who's got that going on?
I don't know.
So you want to hit 2019?
Yeah.
Okay, 2019, we got Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins, RIP, Drew Lock, Will Greer, Ryan Finley.
Yeah, there's not a single.
I don't think can't miss. Well, I think Murray or Kyler Murray was pretty hyped.
Oh, Gardner
he
Minshew
was,
was
right.
a top
So
part of that draft.
I'll give you one in that one, but right now he's worked.
Yeah,
right?
but I think people are like, he's automatically number one. That they looked
at that time. Okay, so I'll give you a can't miss that year, and you know what? I would say it's worth the top 5 pick. Next,
All right, 2018, Baker Mayfield,
nope,
Sam Darnold,
nope,
Josh Allen.
nope.
People were hyped on Sam Darnold.
They were.
They were hyped on Sam Darnold.
People thought this draft class. Remember, they kind of went quarterback berserko in this draft class. Like everybody,
if I can remember hyped about Baker Mayfield than they were Sam Darnold, because Sam never looked good in college, but they had hype over his talent. Well, Baker looked good in the last couple years in college, and everybody was hyped about him.
So
I don't think they were a sure miss prospect though.
So we got the Josh Rosen. After Josh Rosen was Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Then you had Mason Rudolph, Kyle Laletta, Mike White, who will be starting this week for the Jets.
Yeah, I
and
think
a couple of guys we have no idea.
Going back is that people were just racist against Lamar. He should have been a can't miss.
Oh, here's another one. 2017, Mitchell Trubisky. Then you go down, you got Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Kaiser, Davis Webb, CJ Beathard.
There's 2 can't miss there that people just misevaluated, though.
Yeah.
So if you pick Patrick Mahomes and just Deshaun Watson 1 and 2 in that draft, you just got the evaluations right. So
don't do that, Drew.
Yeah. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, they wanted to move him to wide receiver.
What we're saying is
he refused, and that's why he dropped a little bit.
How many people thought any of these were can't miss at all?
I thought Watson was a can't miss. I really thought
too, right? Like I thought that should have been.
I was surprised how far he fell.
Racist. Dude. All right, next.
2016, there was only one quarterback to even mention, and he was drafted in the 4th round, and that was Dak Prescott.
Oh wow, keep going.
Let's see, 2015, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, everybody said they should go. That was a consensus kind of can't miss.
But they weren't can't miss.
I don't think any of them are left in the league. Let's see, 2014, Blake Bortles, Johnny Manziel, Teddy Bridgewater, Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, Logan Thomas.
Man, just don't draft that year.
Jimmy G is best one out of them.
Johnny Manziel. Browns fans overhyped with Johnny Manziel.
I think this goes to my here. This might actually be
Johnny Cokehead.
Kev, you said that Winston and Mariota weren't can't misses.
I don't think they were can't miss. I think they projected them top picks, but I don't think they were like
if you're
oh my god, we have to get this guy.
So you could have passed. Like if you're a team like we are, could you pass on a Winston or Mariota?
No, you take Winston. You would take Winston.
Okay.
I don't think they were like
figure out if we should be
generational
scared to pick in the top 5 of a quarterback because we haven't heard about it, or we should just try to find the generational quarterback and pick him in the top 5. Is this the last year going back?
No, let's see. 2013 was EJ Manuel, Geno Smith,
Jesus,
Mike Glennon, Matt Barkley, Ryan Nassib, Tyler Wilson, Landry Jones.
Is this year better than that year? Let's put it that way. Is this draft class for the Carolina Panthers better than that one? CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, you should be able to say yes automatically.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's the year before. And then that's the luck year is next, right?
Yeah, luck year. Luck, Robert Griffin, Ryan Tannehill, Brandon Whedon, Brock Osweiler, Russell Wilson, Nick Foles, Kirk Cousins, Ryan Lindley, BJ Coleman, and
pretty good draft class.
Who were the first 2?
Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin.
Bro, if them boys are healthy, they're Hall of Famers, man.
Yeah,
RG3 was so fucking nasty. RG3 was so fucking nasty.
Yeah, Andrew Luck was considered a generational talent.
Yeah.
I think the only way you don't take a quarterback in the top 5 if you're the Carolina Panthers is if you truly believe, you have to believe this with your heart and soul, that the players that are on the board that are available to you at that moment are more like the EJ Manuel draft, Geno Smith, than they are like a Jameis Winston, Mariota. You know, and I'm just saying, like, it's almost malpractice to not pick a quarterback at that point.
I agree.
In a time that you need a quarterback, unless you just firmly are against the people, like you think they're going to be bust, period. Because if you pick a quarterback in the second round and he turns out to be Jalen Hurts, he could have been worth a top 5 pick and your organization still be in the great place. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think Winston
I agree with that statement on the screen. Fucking Justin Fields, boys. I cannot believe we passed on that shit, man.
Thank Matt Rhule for that.
That motherfucker is so boy, man. I cried that day when we passed on him. I kid you not. I saw on everything I cried, bro, because I knew he was gonna be this nasty. Wait until he gets the passing going, bro. He could pass in college, bro.
He definitely.
Wait until that shit clicks. Justin Fields is fucking nasty, and I can't believe we passed on that shit, man. But y'all want to pass on 2 more generational type fucking QB. Y'all make me sick.
We passed on Jalen Hurts for YGM. That's what we should be mad at.
Yeah, that was stupid.
I don't think Bryce Young and CJ Stroud are generational at all, and there's been no proof that they are.
Are they?
There's been zero proof they are.
Everything's in the price is in the pudding.
There's no proof there.
What are you talking about?
There's no proof there. Oh yeah, cause he's in Alabama. He's a superstar. Yeah, okay, whatever. There's no proof there.
This is one of the worst Alabama teams they had in like the last 10 years.
The worst Alabama team they've had in a decade, bro. He's the bro. I'm telling you, he's a Steph Curry of football, man.
If you can remove his head and put it on Sam Darnold's body, he'd be a superstar.
Dude, he's pushing. Bro, this is my thing, man. If it says he's 6 foot. You can't lie in the SEC into these kids.
He's not 6 foot. Yes, he's not 6 foot.
He's lying that he's 6 foot,
yes.
though, right?
Yes, Alabama, just like Nick Saban lies every day. Nick Saban lied.
Bro,
during the combine, when they do their official measurements, you'll find out.
God,
when they do, I'll be on Friday Free Throw, and I'll say, "Gee, baby, I told you so." Just wait. Just wait. There's no use to discuss it now.
Y'all shit on Tua. Look at what Tua's doing.
What's Tua's height and weight, though?
I didn't shit on Tua. I never shit on Tua.
Like, I don't know. Yeah. I did coming out. I think he was going to be good. But I was wrong. But what's his height, actual height and weight?
I wanted to trade up for Herbert. Fact is, what we should have did in 2020 when we took Derek Brown, we should have waited and took Jefferson in the first round. Then we could have took Jalen Hurts in the second round.
Tua is anywhere between 5'11".
You know, Matt Rhule was in charge.
6'1".
Yeah, so he's around Bryce Young's height and weight. Right?
He's 6'1", on Google. On another one on CBS Sports, he's 6 foot tall, and then on this one, he's 5'11" at somewhere else. If you click farther into, Maryland.
Hey, we gonna see what he is at the combine.
Not even Tua.
And I'm gonna say it like I told Cody Lack. Bryce Young's gonna run a 4.4, 4.5. I promise you.
I'm pretty sure Bryce Young's going to.
I promise you.
I don't think we're going to get.
I bet you he doesn't run to 40.
I don't think the 40 times is a stat the quarterback. I just don't see how it compares to quarterback unless you want to run with him. And if you want to run with Shorty, you're gonna be in trouble.
I'm gonna leave it at this, G. I'm gonna leave it at this. Bryce Young, his play in the combine and going up to the draft is gonna speak for itself, bro. All I'm gonna say is I fucking told you so.
I think
when he's we gonna see because the rice is in the pudding. Y'all go, oh my God, Bryce! Oh yeah.
Dude, 2 things are gonna happen. Either I'm going to tell you I told you so, or you're going to tell me that. One of them things is going to happen in a couple months.
I think Bryce
That's
Young's
just how
going
it
number
is.
1 overall. So, and we're not going to have the number 1 overall pick.
Correct.
Yeah,
I agree with
I don't
you.
see. I don't see the Texans winning another fucking game, man.
Nope. I don't
I have
either.
a question. Or
Hey,
this is a
they
debate
do have
my
Kyle
take.
Allen lined up quarterback, man.
Debate my take.
Pickle laughs.
Yeah. Yeah, you remember when he came out and he had them few games, everybody said, oh my God, there's our next quarterback. People crying, going all blessed. He come out and start losing, and they're like,
Yeah, they were shitting on Cam. They were shitting on Cam for fucking Kyle
he's
Allen,
our
guys.
replacement. They're like just like when they drafted Will Grow in the 3rd round. Everybody lost their marbles because this guy was going to replace Cam. They're drafting Cam's replacements. People, I'm like, y'all, if Cam Newton allows him to replace him, that's just how it is. But we know how that
got
is.
a real
Strange
question.
about how I remember that time. I remember that time so much differently now. I mean, you guys are right. Like, is that it was Kyle Allen, but when Taylor Heineke won this big game that he came in, like 2 games, where he got to wear the chains and do stuff like that. I just had always remembered that weird time we were in quarterback purgatory with the. I always thought the better games were with Taylor Heineke, but it turns out like he only played like 2 games for the Panthers, and it was Josh Allen a lot. No, it was Josh Allen. I just had
Kyle Allen, yeah,
Kyle Allen. Thank you. But look, Cody Lashley, I'm talking to you in the chat. File this away.
Get in this place.
I know. Debate my take is should Bryce Young go to the combine?
There you go.
My answer is no.
Remember what that Michigan guy?
Now, if I was Bryce Young and I've already projected that, I wouldn't. Because at his point, he's already projected to be the top quarterback, right? If he goes to the combine
top 3.
Yeah, if he goes to the combine and he's measured at the combine and his height ain't where it wants to be, somebody's going to knock him down on that officially.
The worst case scenario,
he'll have a pro day. We'll know how.
Well, you're right.
You're right.
Going to the combine won't help him, right?
No. Worst case scenario for Bryce Young, he goes
Bryce Young ain't no bitch, man. He's here to fucking compete, man. He competes at the highest level, man. He's gonna go and he's gonna fucking compete, man.
Yeah, okay.
Well, look what the Michigan did.
All right. A lot ain't competing at the combine.
You don't get hurt though.
Only the combine helps one person, and it's
and they have the pro day too.
Yeah, but the combine only helps the player who the scouts don't think they're high enough already.
I mean, worst case scenario for Young, he go to a good team. Like gets drafted late to a good team.
Yeah, I mean, no, I just think this is like I don't think it's beneficial for a player who is the number 1 prospect, who has all the tape, who has everything to show you.
Never
Needs to prove it. And this is a great year too to skip the combine, because I think people are going to be more cautious. The scouts and teams are going to be more cautious about being wowed by the Zach Wilson combine or pro day stuff as much. Where
remember that Michigan guy? He tore his ACL running the 40 or whatever.
No, I don't remember that.
Wait,
last year he was projected as the first rounder.
The linebacker that went to Baltimore.
Yes.
He was projected as the first round. He tore his ACL.
Wait, what's his name?
It was like some gigantic name. Oh, it starts with an O.
I'll go look it up.
Let's see.
Wait, he tore his ACL running the 40?
It was like an ACL or MCL or something like that.
Let's see. David Ajobo.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
He was supposed to be like a top 15 pick.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
yeah,
that if you're projected, I just don't see how it would be beneficial for Bryce. What is he really going to prove to you, other that he hasn't already proved already?
Those 40 times in the combine, though, folks will remember they're in their underwear. What they should do, they should get these players to do these drills with pads and shoulder pads and helmet. That way, you really see how they look on the field. Because right now, I mean, have you ever seen when they jump?
A lot of it's training. A lot of it is the training, like how you get off the line, and that's how you really improve. And you're already super fast. How do you improve someone's fort. I was talking to this one guy who helps these people do this, and they make them. What they do is they take their shoes, they make them step in chalk before they start the drill, and so they can look at how their footprints go down the path to see if you can like improve the stride component in a way that shaves off like a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because if they were they're like running out of control, so I mean that's how you win in those moments.
Who was blind years ago, Tony? Who was the offensive lineman who removed his shirt and run that 40 time and without a shirt on?
Oh, I don't know.
I remember that. Oh,
yeah. Who was it? The Bengals drafted him, I think. But he's huge, old fella. I mean, he was for Alabama. He was shaking going down there.
All right. So,
Tony, I got a question. You're talking about Cam recently. Why do you, if you think he's done, why hasn't he signed his retirement papers?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Like, if he's done, wouldn't he sign retirement papers, get all those benefits? Like, you don't need them, but like,
I mean, start getting them. Maybe he doesn't want to be done.
That's what I'm saying. Like, could Wilkes be the guy that maybe, hey, I'll go back for Wilkes?
Oh, for a bridge?
Yeah.
Oh,
God. He hasn't signed his retirement papers, which is strange. If like he's done, wouldn't you done that already?
Are we really going to have that conversation for the next 5 months?
I will not stop having it until he signs those papers.
I mean, we're probably gotta have it now,
right?
Man, C-Dog tripping. My nigga tripping, bruh. What the fuck is you talking about, G? You better stop with that fucking weak ass shit, G. Come on, bro. Come on, dog. You tripping, bro. Pee-wee, bro. Come on,
He
dog.
got to retire before he can enjoy the retirement. He hasn't retired officially.
I worry about
Cody Lack said Bryce Young is 5'2" and 125 pounds. He's 5'2". He's 5'2".
You see Muggsy Bones?
You know what? He bet maybe Bryce Young, when he did his measurements at Alabama, maybe he wearing high heels. That's probably what it was. He go out there and wear high heels to get his measurement. That's probably what it was. That's why he popped up there.
Well, I don't know what Cam Newton is going to do. I worry about Cam if he's got enough celebrity status to be.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm just wondering why he hasn't signed the retirement papers. It's kind of
I just think he don't want to. I just think he's waiting for somebody to call him. Maybe a playoff team that's going to it's hard. I think it's hard to say because knowing. I mean,
well, what is he truly waiting for? It can't be that.
I wouldn't think so, but I mean that's my only answer to that question.
Like, I don't have an answer, so I can't even give you an answer.
So
I mean, it's almost for next year now. Maybe he sees it. Well, he's going to look around and he's going to go like, "Hey, it's Baker, it's Sam Darnold, and it's me out there."
That's what I think. I think if Wilkes was there, I think he might actually try.
I'm still drafting Bryce Young, and then I'd bring fucking Cam in as the fucking bridge and put him in a certain package. We could put him in like now at this point, who gives a fuck if Cam is used at the fucking goal line? I mean, goddamn, as long as he's hungry, bro, he's gonna want to win. He's not the franchise. That's why we protect fucking Bryce Young, man.
And he hated Matt Rhule.
Yep, that is true. We did.
We should have. You know what? I trust Cam.
So, do you guys feel like firing Joe Brady was a mistake?
No,
I think he wasn't the problem
because Joe Brady wanted Cam Newton.
I don't think he was the problem.
I think that's a good way.
No, we all know that Matt Rhule was the problem. Somebody got their mic.
Pissing?
Somebody's taking a
Put that shit on me, bro. Wash your hands.
Good stream.
That's the best stream all night.
Oh,
better than this stream.
damn. That's funny.
I was thinking it right as you said it. Like as you were saying it, I was like, yep, that's what's happened. All right. Well, what else is there? I mean, I feel like you guys got anything else on your mind to talk about? I guess you guys make the picks at the end, right?
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have anything.
I want Terrace Marshall Jr. to be good. What if him and Darnold come out there and fucking smoke
That's
it?
if Terrace Marshall plays.
Why, is he hurt?
He's dealing with a shoulder injury. They said he's a game time decision.
Oh,
like I said, don't be surprised if he does something. Like he actually has the offensive line now.
Man,
I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just saying, don't be surprised.
I mean, like it could be. How about this? Is that what if he goes and throws for 200 yards and doesn't throw any picks and is like got a 63% completion rate and he's like 11 for 15,
and he can run. I mean,
right? And he does that. Like it's going to look so much night and day better than what we've had that you're going to be like, we will be in here going,
It's one game.
You know, you'll be, and it's just like fun. It's like going in the movie with what is it with Hall Pass, and they go to the bar, and the guy's like, "Oh, look at her!" And
oh yeah,
that's what it's gonna be like. Is that for 1 week we'll be like, "Oh shit!"
At least be interesting to watch.
Yeah. As I said at the beginning of the show, Sam Darnold was playing with house money. He's got nothing to lose. Everybody expects him to be crap. So if he's not, then wow. If he is, we expected it. So
you don't have to be pressure of being a savior either.
Exactly.
We got the Friday P for all.
There you go. Play me some R. Kelly.
What was the what was it when I called it when Cody had the guy come on and put the date? He's been duped twice, I think.
God.
But I called it the Friday something. But like it was a play on that as well. All right. Let's go around, we'll make our picks and then we'll call it a night. Unless you guys want to just take turns peeing.
I'm good.
I put my shit on mute when I do it.
Nice, thanks. All right, let's start with Drew. The Denver Broncos are coming to town, and I want to say this: is you sounded pretty positive in the early moments of this show. What do you think the outcome of this game is?
28-14 Carolina.
28-14. Yeah, it was Friday. Free my ball. Is the other one. 24-14 Carolina.
28-14.
28.
That's a lot of points.
I know.
For both teams.
Well, Drew's up there drinking that Maine water, bruh.
It must be crystal clear. I bet you
it's frozen is what it is.
What's the temperature there right now?
I bet it's cold as fuck.
Cody, I look. It's probably in the 20s. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Right now, it is. Come on.
My buddy just went for a wedding.
Actually, not too bad. It's only 37.
Yeah, it's pretty warm here right now.
That's cold.
It's probably like 75 over here.
Yeah, it's about 37 degrees. That's pretty
right
cool.
now it is 9:53 where I live at, where probably most of our time zones is 54 degrees right now. Wonderful. Yeah. All right, Kev, what's your score?
I say 9-10 Carolina.
What? 10-9 Carolina?
Yep.
Okay.
It's not gonna be no points.
Wow. All right. G baby.
I got I think Sam's gonna shit the bed, bro. He hasn't. Sam's been sitting on his ass and getting fat, enjoying those meals, enjoying those millions of dollars, and he just gonna come in here and light it up, huh? Again,
I just said we were going to win 28-14.
I said 9-10.
Sam was going to light it up.
Yeah.
I got. Oh, dude, I can't. Fuck the Broncos. They stole Cam's ring. I can't pick them bitches.
Hold on, wait a minute, G baby. Didn't you say earlier that Carolina wasn't going to win another game this season?
I did. I can't believe I'm going to pick the.
I'm telling you, the Broncos are bad too.
They are, man.
Oh, and I hate Russell Wilson. I hate that motherfucker.
All right.
Damn.
What's the score?
What is it, G baby?
Hey, can I go last? Can I think about this real quick?
Hey, Pickle.
He's the one streaming.
Yeah. Now that you're done, can you tell us what's your pick for this game?
21-3 Panthers.
Damn.
No,
Y'all got some high scores.
21-0.
Damn.
Okay.
Y'all see the Denver
He's
Broncos?
angry now.
Yeah, they look worse than we are.
Yeah.
Listen, at
That's why I
least,
said 9-10.
and you're right. But at least we can run the football, and we're at home. The Panthers lose. The Panthers ain't won a home game since Cam Newton was quarterback. Look that, folks, up. Look it up. Really. No, excuse me. We haven't won an away game since Cam Newton was quarterback.
Huh?
And you have us winning?
We haven't won an away game since Cam Newton was quarterback.
Is this game at home?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that possible?
That's what they were talking about on WFNZ
Right, so, I mean,
this week.
Since week 10 of last year.
I haven't looked it up, but I have not looked it up. But they were talking about we haven't won a home game since Cam Newton was quarterback.
You mean
An away game.
The last,
we haven't won an away game.
We won was in Arizona, Cam's first game back.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
That's what
They
he's saying.
said the last back-to-back wins in Detroit was like 2018. It wasn't even Detroit playing.
How about this? Is we have if we didn't have the beginning of last season, we would have felt like that with back-to-back wins.
Yeah.
All right, so blowouts, a defensive blowout by the Carolina Panthers. I am going to say 17-14 Panthers.
I still think that's high.
Okay, 17-13 Panthers. It could be like 50. Ooh, what if we just did only field goals? 15-12.
It's going to be like that Jets-Patriots game.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Headset.
This could be a get right. This could be a get right game about for Russell Wilson. It could be a get right game. We're a get right game for everybody in a way.
They honestly should have beat the Raiders, man. I can't believe that shit.
Who's the running back for
They've been like that all season. Like, just they stink. What's that?
Who's Denver's running back right now?
Latavius Murray.
The dude that fucks us, man. He fucking runs all over us every time, man. Even when he was at Minnesota, I just remember him whooping our ass.
Yeah.
And I feel like we struggle against bigger backs.
Yeah, now are you gonna
I'm going fucking Denver fucking 13-6, man. I'm taking the Broncos, man.
Wow,
Denver.
Cam Newton would not be proud of you.
No, he wouldn't.
Cam Newton, how could you?
Carolina's
yeah. You betrayed him, man.
I think this is, I think what'd you say the line was?
+2 Carolina.
Oh, it's changed then because it was +2 Denver earlier.
It might have been that, right? I don't know.
No, wait, no, you're right. You said +2.
Yeah, I saw
Denver's
on
favorite.
Yeah.
That means Denver's favorites, right? On the road.
Yeah, Denver's favorite.
Man. All right. That's this Friday free for all.
Next time, y'all, if you ever go out and get your pair of headsets, make sure they're not strong enough to go to the other end of the house.
Got it.
My old headset would go dead halfway before then.
Friday stream for all.
Right?
Well, next time I'll take a camera so I don't have to. Everybody knows.
Hey, can I say one more thing, Tony?
Yeah, please.
Hey, can I? And Greg's my boy, but man, he suggested that sorry ass peripheral fucking show, bro. the first 2 episodes was heat, and then I got to the 5th episode, and then I had seen myself retract back to the 2nd episode because I was so fucking confused. and now I'm on like the 8th episode, and my girl loves it, and I'm lost. I'm so fucking lost in that show right now.
I think episode 4 is like 3 and 4 are like really important, but you don't know they're important until 5 and 6, and you're like,
I saw
I've watched episode 4 3 times actually.
That's how it be.
And then I got this one question: is why did this guy have to kill his family?
Yeah, bro.
It's like alter dimensional family, and he was just like this. He just was like, had to do it. And you're like, and then they just ended the conversation. I was like, well, why'd you have to kill him? They're in a different fucking universe.
Bro, that show is confusing as fuck.
Is Gammon?
You gotta pay attention and focus in that show. Shit.
You guys know Gammon? Anybody? No. Gammon, are you a Carolina football fan? No.
Gamble?
49ers fan here. All right, well, come on to the stream.
Hey guys,
how you
how's it
doing,
going?
man?
I'm doing great. Doing great.
We were just wrapping up the show, and you can get in here with whatever thoughts you had to bring.
Absolutely. I know you guys don't know me, and so which is kind of a good thing, bad thing. Little quick back brief on me. So currently right now in the military, grew up in California, so a long time kind of 49ers fan. One of the things I do is I kind of your service. Appreciate it. So I've been in for 14 years. I never know how to answer that, but thank you, sir. It's a weird thing. I always get kind of choked up. Any other veterans in here? I think you guys feel the same way that I do, and salute to you and yours. So the reason why I came in here, and I try to make sure I don't ask this like smugly, because it's not meant like that. Because during the off season for us as 49ers fans, right, a lot of us we didn't know what to. And it's hard to do when you're a fan of your own fan base, like what is the true value of the players that you see on your team, right? So, we had 2 big moving pieces, or potentially moving pieces, who somehow didn't move. One was Deebo Samuel, right? And we had a lot of people who would come onto our podcast or our streams and say, hey, what do you think about a 3rd round pick for Deebo Samuel? And I was like, you're on the wrong stream, right? Like, that's kind of insulting. But at the same time, when I would kind of go around and I'd ask people like, hey, your team needs Jimmy Garoppolo. So you guys are kind of the first stop. I'm kind of going over here. I'm going over to like the Cleveland Browns. Long story short, when you guys see CMC kind of having a chemistry with a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo and that sort of thing. Because one of the things that I was saying on my stream or on some of the other podcaster streams was that Matt Rhule, before the beginning of the season, I was like, if there's anybody who needs Jimmy Garoppolo the most, it's probably the Panthers, followed by the Browns, and then there was like a couple other teams where I was kind of going like they need him. But I was going like Matt Rhule may not make it through the season without a mature, disciplined kind of leader like Jimmy Garoppolo. He's nothing exciting or fancy, but the man just kind of gets the job done. Has your guys' perception on him changed, the same, or do you guys look at the organization and go like, gosh, you know what? We would have been doing so much better with, an adult and a leader kind of like Jimmy Garoppolo? Or do you guys go like, you know what? It's just easy to do when you got, a Pro Bowl guy like CMC, Tutu, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, just curious. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, the first is definitely the situation in San Francisco is beneficial to him, right? Like, you can't deny that being under the best coach in the league. And that's why I'll put Kyle Shanahan, or at least he's my favorite coach. And that says a lot because he was with the Falcons that year. Well, I mean, he was a Falcons coach. But like, if I had my pick of the litter, it'd be Kyle Shanahan. Right? That would be like how would I go and get my next head coach. And then you do have a lot of talent. So that is beneficial to Garoppolo. But at the same time, I used to be a person that said that Baker Mayfield, if I had my choice between Baker Mayfield and Jimmy G, I would rather have the gunslinger upside of Baker Mayfield. And it turns out I was completely wrong on that. And Jimmy G would have been a lot better here than Baker Mayfield has been. Now, how much better he would be or how much worse he would be than he was in San Francisco, I can't answer that part where I don't know.
See, I would rather have Jimmy G. I just didn't want his contract.
Yeah, that's me.
I
would have rather have Jimmy G's health issues concern me, but I mean, but at the same time, as much as as much as we like Jimmy G, Matt Rhule isn't an NFL coach. I've often compared. I've told a couple Eagle fans that I work with a lot. I said Matt Rhule is our version of Chip Kelly. Okay, he's a guy who, no matter how good he is in college, he doesn't belong in the NFL. I think if Jimmy G would have come here, he would not be having a season he's having up there because with Matt Rhule here, he would be trying to get Jimmy to play in a college football way.
Or it would just be better than Baker, but not significantly better to where we're like,
exactly.
Like it saved Matt Rhule's job. Maybe,
I wouldn't maybe it would have the draft capital it would have taken to get Jimmy G.
That
my
too.
question back to you:
that's true.
When is Garoppolo's contract end? And
this season,
if you got the TV on the background, mute while we're if we're not using our mics. What's Jimmy G's contract? When does it end? When does he part ways with the 49ers?
I mean, does he part ways?
Yes. So I think that he does. He does part ways, whether he wins a Super Bowl or not with the 49ers.
Wow.
So big reason is right. And I think it's kind of everyone's kind of got their opinions or views. I'm sure you guys had very strong opinions or views about Baker Mayfield before he came onto your team. And now you guys are kind of looking back at maybe what some Browns fans were telling you, and you're kind of going like, okay, this checks out, or maybe he did that in Cleveland, but he kind of shorted up over here, right? Yeah. Different kind of things. I think the thing where you were talking about, you really liked Kyle Shanahan. He said, number one coach. I don't know if even me as a 49ers fan, I don't think I would put him as the number one coach in the NFL. But as far as like his strategy, his scheming, right, putting together a game plan, I would say I put him just right below somebody like Andy Reid, but that's still.
So would he be your top coach, Andy? Would Andy Reid be?
Under Andy Reid's pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Andy Reid would be, only because of you just look at the experience and what journey that man had to go through before he got his first Super Bowl, right? Like he went through all those McNabb years and other teams kind of trading off on him
as successes, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, and that was.
Yeah, I agree. I could see how Andy Reid would be the top. My thing is this: I think that at least Shanahan gives you the future, like the longevity, maybe with that. Reid's already like how many years more can he coach? And he does bring his brother. Did you guys hear about his brother just got sent? The sentence came through, or it was assistant coach. Remember last year he drove drunk driving and he killed.
I thought it was his son.
That was his son.
Was his son, and he was assistant coach, right?
Yeah, it was linebacker.
He got 3 years in prison for that. But anyway, I guess that. So yeah, all right, Andy. Is there any other coach ahead of Kyle Shanahan right now?
I mean, obviously, I got to go with Bill Belichick. You know what I mean? Like if this got cut and then put on Twitter and it was titled, random 49ers guy thinks Kyle Shanahan's better than, Bill Belichick, I would get ruined. But, honestly, I think I'd put Kyle Shanahan somewhere in, I think, like the top 8. I couldn't just give you like a list of numbers. Again, that's head coaching. I think head coaching is different than what he brings to like the table as far as like his offensive acumen, getting players into the right position.
So like you can, like if anybody, we watched Christian McCaffrey here have really one great season in a season that wasn't all that great for the Carolina Panthers in a way. But we saw him just in his first 3 years just devastate. This was just awesome. But one of the problems with Christian McCaffrey that was like a conundrum, it was like the Christian McCaffrey paradox became, how do you use them in a way that gets you to win? One, like isn't just stat loaded, but also translates to wins. But two, not overuse him, not over depend on him as a game plan. Like it was just this thing that we didn't know how ever the code, we could not crack this code. And man, if anybody could crack it, it's Kyle Shanahan. It's already seemingly learning how to not overuse him and use him a ton still.
Didn't know 40. Oh, sorry.
I apologize. So I'm glad you kind of brought up the use of Christian McCaffrey. So what I like is whenever you see receivers, right, the stat you're always looking for is receptions. Whenever you look for running backs, the stat that you're looking for is carries. Well, what I find is very interesting is the duality is what the 49ers kind of practice or preach, right? So they like duality. Like you can take away one thing, but if right, what's that old adage? One is none, two is some. So by having somebody, and I call them like touches, right? It's not receptions, it's not carries, but what Christian McCaffrey gives you is touches. He's going to receive, he's going to catch. Same thing with Deebo Samuel. He's going to receive, he's going to catch. Because I'd have opposing. I remember when we were playing the Cowboys. I don't know if you've dealt with their fans before, but my Lanta, like that was something else. But they were trying to say, we're going to shut down Deebo Samuel, and I was like, maybe in the receiving game, but not in the rushing game. Like we're going to feed this guy the ball. But I think that's the big thing is they're both simultaneously taking the load off of each other. Instead of Deebo Samuel getting 8 to 12 carries a game, and then 8 to 12 catches a game. Instead, now it's like Deebo Samuel's getting 5 catches a game and 6 carries a game, and then it's kind of the same thing going on for Christian McCaffrey. And you get, like you said, there's a lot of stats that kind of get eaten up. Where I see a lot of stats get eaten up, right? And when you think about stats, you're like, those are nice, but how much of that is filler? And I always think of Russell Westbrook when he got that average, that triple double with the gosh, what was the team? The Thunder, yeah. And I was like, he got the triple double, but not like the Oscar Robinson true, you know what I mean, triple double. There was like guys doing everything they could to feed him that stuff. As far as Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't think he's going to be commanding a very big, large contract. Or if he does, I think it'll be more of like a prove it year. To be honest, I also too think he's actually like a great mentor. It was really sad for me to shuttle off Alex Smith when we still had Colin Kaepernick. Alex Smith then goes over to the Chiefs. The Chiefs were complaining about Alex Smith and how he was a game manager. And then with Andy Reid, he almost had an MVP type season.
Playoffs, right?
Yeah. And then Patrick Mahomes got to sit behind somebody who just like Alex Smith already had been through it. Hey, I've been leapfrogged by the young guy coming up. And he was just a consummate professional, like no ego in there. And then I could see Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, I already know Jimmy Garoppolo would do the exact same thing. I mean, look at the amount of punishment that guy's been through. We used to nickname Alex Smith the Phoenix because we almost tried to run him out of town before Jim Harbaugh came there. And that man has been killed many times in the media, and he just keeps coming back to life. So I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo, he's not coming back next year. The 49ers have sank too much into Trey Lance, but also to Trey Lance's development. I've been really kind of proud of what I've seen, only though it's been 4 games. But it makes me hopeful because the big thing I look at for young quarterbacks is pocket presence, right? Like anybody can run and throw when it's good and the pocket's clean, but are you gonna take it when the defense is gonna hit you like square in the teeth? Are you still gonna deliver it, pop back up, and then keep doing that? What's the quarterback for the Bengals? I can't believe I'm doing this right now. I think it's
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, man. Like he's got no offensive line. He didn't have one last year, but oh man, the gahungas on that guy. Like he was just like, I'm gonna just keep getting drilled every third play, but damn it, I'm gonna just keep zipping it. I don't see Kirk Cousins
who does that and is not a good quarterback. Still, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones will hang in there until he gets bashed up, but not as good as that. But there's no concern. You don't have any concern with Trey Lance at this point with how much you put into it, because this is, I think, parallel to a conversation that is very related to the Carolina Panthers. Is we are a team that has been in the discussion for quarterback for several years now. We've been just slightly out of range for that, whether we're picking at 6 or 8. And it's been like, do we let the draft come to us and maybe get a quarterback? And then there was a lot of, you just got to try to find draft talk in some ways, but trading the farm for, we've been through the Trevor Lawrence. We all were excited on that Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Trey Lance draft, right? Those were all even we were wondering if we should allocate the assets. So if we would have done that, and now he's hurt, there wasn't like he didn't look dominant necessarily when he's in there. How do you, are there any lingering concerns among you as a 49ers fan?
So I would say fans in general, yes. For me, I watch a lot of tape, and there were a couple things that I said I wanted to see him work on, right? There's so much macro, so much micro, that these players need to do to prepare for an NFL season. And mine were very, very simple because he showed that he had the pocket awareness as a rookie. But what I wanted to see him do was actually just climb up into the pocket. Like, hey, you feel the pressure instead of like trying to slip out, jump out like we see Colin Kaepernick, right? Justin Fields do, just like bail and run. I was like, hey, how about just climb the pocket, look for a lane and kind of throw it. So I see that. So I feel a lot better. As far as your question goes, I think we see the Rams in our division and they were like F them picks. And I got to tell you, I've seen the 49ers lose 2 Super Bowls in recent history, right? The Harbaugh, which was, the Harbaugh brothers going up against each other. And then one not too recently, not too long ago against the Chiefs. And you guess how the Chiefs got Mahomes? The Chiefs traded up for Mahomes. The other thing, too, that I look at that makes me feel better is like, yeah, I know that the capital that the 49ers gave up is quite a bit. The Rams right now, yeah, their team may be sucking, but at least they're going like, hey, 49ers, when was the last time you won the Super Bowl? And I'm like, well, 1994 against the Chargers was Steve Young. It's not the last time we've been in the Super Bowl, but it's the last time we won one. And they're like, yeah, well, we may be getting our butts kicked right now, but that ring was just, last year. You know what I'm saying? So the other thing too is, as long as there isn't a big deluge, like a big divide between talent, like we may have given up more resources for Trey Lance versus Justin Fields. But as long as it's not a situation where it's like when the Bears traded with the 49ers to go from the 3rd spot to the 2nd spot, they went up, they picked Mitchell Trubisky over somebody, say, like Patrick Mahomes. Like the talent difference it's just massive. That divide between Trubisky and Mahomes. If Mahomes was on the Steelers right now, he would be having a way better record than they would be over there, right? Also, too, the Bears would have needed to move up to go get him. Another example that I have is everyone wanted to run Tua out of town for a little bit for the Dolphins, and for a long time, when I was looking at the Chargers, going like, man, the Dolphins, they should have gotten Herbert. They really should have gotten Herbert, and then all of a sudden you get some good pieces around Tua, right? And then all of a sudden Tua doesn't look that bad. I don't think he's as good as Herbert, but it's not that bad. And I think if anyone's kind of shown the recipe for success over the last 15 years of having a Super Bowl team and getting to the Super Bowl with not like a top 10 quarterback, it's the 49ers. We did it with Alex Smith. We did it with Jimmy Garoppolo. And then you looked at the Buccaneers when they won with John Lynch, Warren Sapp and crew, and they did it with Brad Johnson. Not too many people remember that name. I'm sure you guys probably do in the division, but outside of your guys' division, right? Not too many people probably remember that. So just to kind of answer your question, I say the picks don't matter, but the production at the end of it is what matters. If it wasn't fun watching the 49ers not lose the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, that was heartbreaking. Right. And it's like, man, if we would have just gave away a couple more draft picks, maybe got a couple more impact players, it would have been better to see your confetti falling from the stands versus the other team's confetti falling from the stands.
Didn't Jimmy G only throw like 8 passes against the Packers to win the NFC Championship? Yeah.
So, and that's the other thing too, is,
I think too.
Yeah. So that was the big thing too. When the 49ers were getting Kyle Shanahan and he was saying like, hey, we're going to be a running offense and we want a defense like the Seattle Seahawks, I was laughing. I was going like, that's great coach speak. We just saw what you did with Atlanta and all that other kind of stuff. And then, but lo and behold, because that was the thing, that was what was driving us crazy, was we had Jim Harbaugh, we had Frank Gore. It was, we're going to run it 55 times. We're going to pass it 18 times. I'm going like, no, we brought you over here to be a high flying offense. And then look at it now. Yeah. The Ravens did it a couple times. Yep. But now you look at it and you're just like, damn, he wasn't lying. Like he is like A-okay with running the football. You're seeing Troy Aikman say after the Monday Night Football game, he's going like, the 49ers are one of the most old school football teams that are here because they're just going to constantly nonstop pound it. When you guys brought up CMC and how to use him without him getting exacerbated, well, the 49ers have probably spent the last 3 years a 3rd round pick on a running back. So CMC doesn't need to tote the rock that much. We've got Elijah Mitchell behind him. We got, Ty Davis Price. We've got some big big bodies behind there, so he doesn't have to necessarily. And then Deebo Samuel to trunk the load, but I don't know if that kind of answered the question. But when I was really kind of studying the tape and reviewing it, I was really, really surprised. Even with Julio Jones and everything like that with the Falcons, he ran the most 3 tight end heavy sets. He led the league in 3 tight end sets that year that they went to the Super Bowl and lost against the Patriots. But you remember the 2 running backs that they had over there in Atlanta, like they are
Coleman and who was the other guy? Tevin Coleman's still with you guys, right?
No, he
kind of bounces around between you and the Jets.
Yeah, I can't remember the other guy's name, but yeah, I mean, really, really, the other guy was like a speedy
Freeman.
There you go.
But that, like, even if you go back to that Atlanta offense, it was probably the first time they didn't just ask Matt Ryan to throw 50 times every week.
Right, and then you go to his offense before that with the Browns, and he had a really potent rushing attack there, right? So, whenever I think about it, I thought like it was just coaches speak, and he was just saying that as the thing that he wanted to do. Like he wasn't lying. Like he's really okay with running it 40 or 50 times down someone's throat. Look, if it happens again this year, people are going to go like Jimmy can't throw or anything like that. I'm going to be like, honestly, we have George Kittle is the best blocking tight end in the league, and is probably the second or third best receiving tight end in the league. Like we have one of the best left tackles in the league in Trent Williams. So we're going to run it. I know it surprises people, but like that's what's going to happen.
I think it surprises people. I think it's just you just know you have to be able to throw it at sometimes. And I actually don't think anybody's questioning the offense of the 49ers right now. I think
we were the first few games when we started off 3-4 this season, and we started off 3-5 last season. There was a lot of questions. Yeah,
he is man. This dude, Kyle Shanahan is I think a genius, but he also is like, I don't know, whatever your ABC book was when you were a kid, like that they put in your little bassinet or whatever they read to you at night, but it was like zone run plays for kids from Mike Shanahan. I mean, he's been steeped in a tradition of running the football successfully. I mean, if you think of what his dad did in Denver, they just churned out 1,000-yard rushers all the time, bro. And I mean, like, and you'd be like, oh man, we're gonna get rid of who was the dude that left and went to the Redskins?
Clinton Portis.
You're like, oh, they're gonna lose Clinton Portis. They just put in the next dude, another 1,600 yards. So he's been steeped in that since a baby. I just think, I mean, we're just been looking at the conversation from should we, with a project like Trey Lance, is it worth it for us to either take the risk? And you guys traded up for it. The thing that you are coming back to, though, is you're confident enough in the ability for the GM and the coach to coach those players and to get the most out of whatever the draft and things. And that's our problem. We're not confident in our ability like that. It's like we can't overcome this person not turning out to be the best person in the world. They have to they got to be like a hurricane of success, a force that will survive until we get a coach that's on the level of a Belichick, Shanahan, Andy Reid, where, they're going to be there regardless if this pick works out or not.
Right. And that's the big thing, right? Is when people go like, hey, Gammon, I don't think you guys did the right move by trading up and it's going to fail for Trey Lance. It's not for me to defend the position. Like that's on Kyle Shanahan. But my thing is like, regardless of how we feel about the pick, the decision maker, if Andy Reid went up and picked a quarterback, which he did in Patrick Mahomes, it ended up being the right decision, right? I think that we'd all agree that Andy Reid probably has a better eye for prospects of the quarterback position than Matt Rhule. I would say probably we are in congruence the same way with Kyle Shanahan. Doesn't mean that it's going to work. He's even admitted as such. But again, the thing that I look at is just the growth. And so really the biggest thing, and I think you're barking up the right tree about it, but do you have the right coaching in place, like around him? And it's not just the head coach, right? I think it's who's the position coach, right? Who's the quarterback coach? Who's the person putting him in through the drills, having having that veteran in there, and then also too on that guy, will he take the coaching? And then when you brought up the outside zone run scheme, I don't want to say it's gone the way of the dodo, but it's because of the cut block rule, right? That got changed on 26 May 2021. You started to see the 49ers kind of go more into, and a lot of people who came from that coaching tree, which was kind of the 49ers coaching tree, go into more of an inside zone blocking scheme, because you can't do the cut block or the, basically like wherever you want to. You can only do it within a confined box, right? That's 2 yards outside the tackles and 5 yards on either side of line of scrimmage, or 3 yards from the from the tackles, 2 yards, additional extra 2 yards if it's outside from the tight end. So it's a lot more confined, where you just like clear out bodies, kind of really, really crazy. But that's kind of just going off onto a tangent. But I'd say for you guys, I think the biggest thing is just getting a coach. Doesn't matter if it's a guy like quarterback class last year was better than this year, unless Joe Burrow's available. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree. I don't, I know some of you guys don't want veterans. You guys want that new, when I'm looking at cars, when I'm looking at like a Ford Mustang, I would like to shop and go get a 2023. But what if, it's like a new Xbox, right? What if it comes out, it's got the red circle of death? I just would have been more functional just to have an older version of an Xbox, right? Maybe go for the 2018 Ford Mustang. So I just think that Wilkes, who's Wilkes?
That's our head coach.
Yeah, that's our head coach. All right, we're having our own conversation in the chat room about all types of things right now.
I just know after Matt Rhule got fired, I've been seeing him everywhere on the internet. He's been somehow popping up on my YouTube.
He was our so he's our head coach now. But the quick story of Steve Wilkes was he was the secondary coach for the Carolina Panthers when they went to the Super Bowl. Then he became their defensive coordinator, and then after homeboy went to Buffalo, then he went to Arizona for 1 year. Was a head coach when they picked Josh Rosen, and he's part of he's part of the lawsuit between the NFL and Flores and the use of the kind of inauthenticity of the Rooney Rule and some of the measures that are put in place, and how these guys are set up to fail or not given as much. Anyway, and now he's our head coach. He's been pretty good. I'll ask you, let me see. We're about to get out of here. It's 10:30. We've been streaming for 3.5 hours. I was gonna one of the things too is that we might need both, to be honest. Gammon, is we might need the brand new Mustang that we ordered, or like actually what I would want right now if I was gonna pick a brand new car, and I'm not a super car guy because I'm a cheap ass. Them new Vets look really awesome. They look like Lambos almost now, and they put the engine in the back. The new Corvettes look fantastic. But you could go out there. I just read this article on this dude, and he was the first dude to receive a fully electric Ford F-150.
Oh wow!
Like he ordered it to, it finally showed up. So we might need the brand new Ford F-150, and we might need to go ahead and put the order in this draft. But we also might need the 2018 Mustang to get us around until the Ford F-150 gets here.
I'll take a 2008 Honda Civic right now. So,
no doubt. But I got a great car, but my kid's my kid's gonna need a car in the next year, so I'm already nervous. Cars are so fucking expensive.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of I'm just going to I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to ask 2 questions. I'm going to try and I'll probably come back and kind of rewatch this and write some notes down for the off season. But I'll use this as kind of, fodder for the cannon, if you will. First question is, and again, I'm kind of leaning more towards the off season, but how do you guys feel about, Aaron Rodgers comes available? Would you guys be willing to give up any kind of capital? That's number one. Number two, how do you guys feel? You guys asked me kind of where do I rate Kyle Shanahan as far as coaches go, like head coaching. And I kind of put him there in the top 8. Where do you guys put your ownership at as far as like, how do you guys rate? Because I think, okay, that was sharp. Okay. Wow. That's because I think that's another part is it's hard to get good quality coaching staff if you don't have,
I think that might be a little unfair.
that was so quick. I was like, damn, all right.
We're in a hard spot right now. We're in a moment.
He's made some bad choices. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
this. He come in as a rookie owner, and it showed real strongly.
Yeah, he made some bad choices, especially in Matt Rhule, but
Yeah.
Any good choices that you saw him make that you guys liked where you're like, hey,
he spends the money. That's what I like.
Yeah, he don't mind spending the money. I mean, I've always said I credit him with at least putting a bubble to practice in. Before David Tepper took over, the Panthers were practicing in a hotel ballroom when it was poor weather outside. So
we need to give Gamma a little context of why they're so irritated, like why this is. So did you also ask, has he done anything good?
Well, right, because usually it's like, hey, they did this thing just like terrible.
So this is what happened with Tepper. Tepper
I'll tell you what he's done.
Go ahead.
He's brought music back to Charlotte.
Oh yeah. See, this is all right.
Come on now.
So look, our ownership changed not too long ago because of somewhat of a scandal, but our owner was old and already had a heart transplant like a decade earlier too. And we have for years, many people had complained about him being an absentee owner in a way, like as in he was always at the games, he was always there, but he was not very vocal. He wasn't very he was just really conservative and basic. And one of the things was he was very much about the league, and because he was in the Ice Bowl, I mean, there's so much history to the football. He brought this team in a time nobody said you can bring Charlotte a team. So he used to keep the NFL shield on our midfield logo. Well, like fans, we've got like one of the coolest logos in the league.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do with the state of North Carolina too with it. And
I love your guys' jersey colors too.
Yeah. So fans they would always say this is like, oh, so this is what we get David Tepper. We get an owner that's like showing up at fan tailgates occasionally, that's dancing on the sidelines after with some players, and he changes the logo. He does it. And like fans are like, see, he knows business. He knows business. And then, so we got so hyped about him to start. And then he goes and makes the big splash for Matt Rhule and pays him all the money. And then it didn't work. None of it worked. And he had this big failed thing with the city of Rock Hill where they were trying to build this big sports complex practice facility. And now it's just like an empty shell and bankrupt and a lawsuit between the state. The problem that we're getting to and what White Chocolate Espresso was referring to as, and he brought music to Charlotte, is that Tepper has made a lot of big errors, and they've been clear, and he's taken zero responsibility for them at the end. Like he had one of the worst press conferences after he fired Matt Rhule. His last 2 press conferences have been disasters in a way, and he got irritated with the media. It was almost like a real, I can't believe the peasants asked me this question type attitude. And so right now he act like he saved Charlotte from the pandemic. And it just when we needed him to have a little humble pie and say, we're going to try our best to get this right, he just was an egomaniac, or at least that's how I interpreted it. And I think that's where some of the angst comes from with this, why he's the worst.
And you mix the turf too, the turf grass.
Oh yeah, he took the turf grass, the grass, and put in turf.
So to kind of just quickly summarize, basically how you guys, and not to put words in your mouth, correct me if I'm wrong, but how you guys summarize your owner is that he spends money, so he doesn't have like a tight pocket or wallet.
Yeah, he's like the richest dude in the world.
He is involved, engaged with the fans and everything like that, but he's not accountable.
Right.
He's Jerry Jones without the wins.
Ooh.
That's what some people think.
And
yeah.
hopefully Jerry Jones without the hookers and blow as well. But yeah.
Well, I might like him if he has that.
I'm the other way.
But I appreciate you guys, and I'm going to let you guys go. But that was good food for thought. And just last real quickly, if I could have you guys kind of go around the horn, yes or no, Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No.
I'd keep what we got before I'd sign
No,
it.
we're not a good enough team.
Okay. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
That's $45 million.
You can come,
All right. Well, you know what?
We
Thank
do
you,
this
Dan.
every
That was
day,
kind of a surprise.
Yeah, we do this every Friday. Come anytime you want. 7 o'clock to get done.
Yeah, the Friday free for all is a show for anyone to come on and to discuss the Carolina Panthers and the NFL. And Tuesday, the C3 Panthers Podcast, the longest running Panthers podcast on the internet, will be here. And but before that, we've got the Saturday simulation for this Denver Broncos. The Madden simulations have been prophetic, so we commentate Madden simulation that looks at the upcoming matchup. Gunzunte or Burpit, excuse you. And Sunday post game show at 4:30. Is it a 1 o'clock game or a 4 o'clock game?
It's 1 o'clock.
All right. My last advice to you as Panther fans is to remember that when an AFC team comes to Carolina, that the game is not on Fox, it's on CBS. Remember that is for every other week it is on CBS. I mean on Fox, whatever. I did this anyway. I brought this anyway. Long story short, Denver comes to our town. It's going to be on CBS. What did we say we had to go around? Oh, everybody said no to the Aaron Rodgers thing, right?
I wouldn't mind A-Rod.
It depends on what we give up, really.
Why wouldn't you mind A-Rod?
Shit. For real?
What we've been playing with, bro?
Yeah, y'all tripping, man. I wouldn't mind Aaron Rodgers, dog.
Absolutely not. No more giving up assets for old quarterbacks.
Going from Baker to
Hey,
A-Rod.
bro, that's a Hall of Fame QB, though, Drew.
If you're talking to Aaron Rodgers, let's say 5 years ago, I'd be right in on that conversation. But Aaron Rodgers plays old, he looks old, and he don't even look like he gives a damn anymore.
Oh, isn't he back-to-back MVP?
Of course it is.
3 or 4 years ago. Just because you play like an MVP 1 year, don't mean you play like MVP your entire career.
He's got nobody to throw to.
Man.
Danielle Sartine was
an elite quarterback. Doesn't matter about that.
What's his stats?
Okay, who did Tom Brady have to throw to in New England?
An elite quarterback doesn't have to worry about who.
Tom Brady doesn't throw at Mac Jones.
David Patton.
I mean,
we don't want to go get love from Green Bay.
Nobody wants
you were on fire for a while, Danielle, but you lost me on that one. I guess it depends on what you're kind of giving up, but
nobody knows anything about him.
He's man, I don't know.
And when he did play, he looked like trash.
He did.
Yeah,
I don't like to say.
It's like this cool name that Belichick crafted in his lab, and then all of a sudden got all these picks out of. But, all right, I'm ready to get out of here, guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
You guys heard all the stuff. What else does he do at the end of the show? Is that it? We just get out of here?
Anybody got anything? Oh, I was gonna say if he wanted to plug something.
Oh yeah, he could have plugged something. That was impromptu. Hopefully this was a good fill-in, and you guys going to be here for the post game on Sunday, I hope.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. All right, we out of here, guys. Thank you for everything you give to us, and don't forget the charity drive's coming up, so keep a little money in your pocket to give to the Bradley and Nikki Bozeman Foundation. That's the one that we're going to support this. We're going to do a kind of the week of the bye. So after this Denver Broncos game, we'll start plugging that. Holy cow. Let's get out. All right. I need Cody. All right. Later, y'all.
All right.
Peace.